You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2029 Chapter 449 Xianjiu became famous one. The Great Xia Manor was in turmoil. 4 of the 7 great experts of the heaven hunting pavilion had died, and 2 of them were at the mid-stage sun-moon realm. Yuan Qingdong had almost been killed, and Ji Hong had also been severely injured. Hu Dihao, who had been keeping a low profile, had personally killed 2 mid-stage sun-moon realm experts and injured a faceless elder, displaying his extremely powerful strength. The elders of the Great Xia Mansion were all displaying their strength. It was as if they had no bottom line. Not only that, on this day, the Great Xia Mansion issued a killing order. The target was not that elder, but Xianjiu. Xianjiu, who had challenged the prestige of the Great Xia Mansion. He had to be killed. The Heaven Hunting Pavilion was listed as an external enemy on the same level as the Myriad Clan's sect. Everyone could be killed. There was no need for any judgment. All members of the Heaven Hunting Pavilion could be killed. Not only that, any human with a heaven hunting talent list had to report it. If they hid it and didn't report it, they would be heavily punished if they were found out. Manager Hu returned to the Great Xia Prefecture and issued orders. At the same time, a large number of experts were rushing to the Great Xia Prefecture. Some were called by Yuan Qingdong, and some were from the Heaven Hunting Pavilion. Great Xia Prefecture had big news and big events. Xianjiu and Huangjiu, who had luckily escaped, also lost contact and stopped contacting the Heaven Hunting Pavilion. According to Xianjiu's last sentence, he suspected that there were humans and traitors in the Heaven Hunting Pavilion. They had been betrayed. Yes, this was Su Yu's way of calling for a thief to catch a thief. At this moment, Su Yu was hiding on a big tree. His white clothes had been changed into green clothes, and he had merged with the big tree. He was cursing in his heart. At this moment, the mask trembled again. "Where are you?" This was a message from Xianjiu. Su Yu said impolitely, "What? The elder wants to locate me?" "No, a law enforcement elder from the branch is here. He wants me to tell you that he will check if there are any human spies." When he said this, Xianjiu felt complicated. "You said that Huangjiu might be a spy, right?" "That's right. That guy was just a bystander the entire time. He actually managed to escape from a mountain and sea. I think he's definitely a human spy." Xianjiu was speechless. "If I didn't know who you were, I would have suspected him as well. Don't you sound guilty? You're Su Yu, you're Ling Yun. You're not dead yet, so why should you let him die?" Su Yu continued, "That's why I suspect that Huangjiu's superior, Elder Huangjia, also has a problem." "Elder Xianjia, they definitely have a problem, right? F***CKU. Xianjia couldn't be bothered with him and quickly said, "What exactly happened?" "Now that the headquarters has issued an order to capture Ji Hong alive, there are a total of 200 drops of sun-moon mystic yellow liquid as a reward. This is a reward for the power of the sun and the moon. He's only at the 2nd level of the sun and the moon." Su Yu was making a judgment in his heart. He wondered if Ji Hong was telling the truth. Did the 10,000 saints know? Did Ji Hong really track down the whereabouts of that traitor? He wasn't too sure. Logically speaking, Ji Hong shouldn't have said it so easily. However, if he knew that he was going to die and passed the news to the Heaven Hunting Pavilion, although the Heaven Hunting Pavilion would make a huge profit, they would definitely sell the news. This way, the humans would know how far he had gone. Thus, it was possible for Ji Hong to say all of this at the last moment. It wasn't necessarily because he was afraid of death, but it was also possible that he was simply trying to prevent the news from breaking. Su Yu wasn't sure. Also, did Myriad Sage know? No one had come. Ji Hong had come. Didn't he know that Kai Yi was coming? Nonsense, I told him. In other words, Ji Hong's arrival was probably arranged by Myriad Sage as well. In that case, Myriad Sage probably knows something, so he intentionally leaked all of this information. Perhaps he has some sort of connection with Ji Hong, or perhaps he doesn't. However, based on what I can tell, Ji Hong will tell everyone. Su Yu felt a headache coming on. What were these old foxes scheming? They were making his head hurt. There was also Manager Hu. Just wait and see. This time, the other party really didn't hold back. Su Yu's injuries weren't light. To be honest, if not for his powerful physical body and the fact that he was able to regenerate his flesh and blood, he would have been killed by Manager Hu. He was 2F** King Ruthless. Without the assistance of an elder, Su Yu was already prepared to expose his identity. If he didn't, he would have been beaten to death by Manager Hu. Luckily, an elder came. Xian Jia said again, over at the branch, Elder of Law Enforcement wants you and Huang Jiu to report the situation in detail. I'm not going. If you don't go, then you're a traitor. Su Yu was speechless. After a while, he said, I'm not going, but I can pull up a channel and talk. Also, I need Elder of Law Enforcement here. I also need you, Huang Jiu's superior, Elder Huang Jia, and the other 2 law enforcers. I'll relay the message. All right. The communication with Xian Jia ended here. Su Yu rubbed his chin. This time, it was really dangerous. Lao Wan was too much of a scammer. Fortunately, I already knew that he was a scammer. Otherwise, if I foolishly thought that I was fine, would probably have been killed by Ji Hong in the first strike. Yuan Qingdong was not dead. Su Yu thought of the blood that he had collected. In fact, he wanted to extract a drop of blood essence to check his memory. The deepest memory. Did this fellow know something? Of course, he was still alive. The remaining blood might not be able to see anything. No matter what, he would have to wait and see. Besides, he was an extremely vicious person. He could not give up just like that. I, Xianjiu, also have a reputation. I have to take revenge. Su Yu's heart skipped a beat. He quickly sent a message. Fatty Xia, give me a few names. I want to kill someone for revenge. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2030. 2030 Chapter 449, Xianjiu's Fame 2. Are you Xianjiu or Huang Jiu? Guess. I'm not guessing. It's probably Xianjiu. His fame is too small and doesn't match your status. How smart. You're the one who can really muddle through. Xia Huyo was also speechless. Damn it, I thought you were just a small soldier, but it turns out you're not. You're not a big or small figure in the heaven hunting pavilion. You almost killed Yuan Qingdong. You are really good. I can't kill too many people. If I kill too many people, there will be a problem with those people. If I contact those people behind me and compare them, I will know that there is a problem. Very soon, Xia Huyo sent a message, you want to create a crazy, vengeful character, right? You are so smart. Your words are so artistic. That is my idea. It is not as good as your conclusion. Su Yu praised him. That's what I wanted to do. At this juncture, I still went on a killing spree to seek revenge. I, Xianjiu, am not a madman. How can I do such a thing? I went on a killing spree to slap the face of the great Xia residents. You're calling me a traitor of the heaven hunting pavilion? Don't joke around. Even humans would do such a thing. Don't always kill those unimportant fellows. It'll be fake if you kill too many of them. Kill an important one who isn't that strong. Let me think. I got it. Go and kill my uncle. Xia Sini, you don't know him. You should have met Xia Chan's father before. F***ck, are you still human? Did your family fight for power to this extent? Or did he betray you? Su Yu was stunned. You want me to kill Xia Shaoer's son, Xia Chan's father? Are you crazy? You're too ruthless. It's okay, my uncle had some problems with his cultivation. I thought about it, I'll just shatter his body and rebuild it. I'll also ask him to withdraw from this mess. You just have to break his body and leave a little bit of his sea of will behind. Don't kill him. Once you break my uncle, the human realm will be shaken. That way, you'll be crazy enough. Won't your great Xia mansion hunt me down until I die? Nonsense. Aren't you not afraid? Aren't you going to create a persona? Isn't this person a good choice? My uncle is very low-key, and not many people care about him. He's not as famous as Xia Yuan, and his whereabouts are also hidden. If you beat him up, my second grandfather will return very soon. As a result, my second grandfather will flip out and gather some experts to return to the great Xia mansion. Now, some experts are not easy to mobilize, and it's too obvious that they've been transferred back. There are still experts in the great Xia mansion. Nonsense, we still have 2 Sun-Moon realm experts stationed in the celestial mansion. One of them is at the late stage of the Sun-Moon realm. Stationed in the celestial battlefield, the Demon Suppression Army also has a Sun-Moon realm expert. The general of the Demon Suppression Army is also at the late stage of the Sun-Moon realm. Also, the Great Xia Mansion has conquered 5 small worlds. There are 12 Sun-Moon realm experts stationed there. Among them, there are 5 at the late stage of the Sun-Moon realm. Su Yu swallowed his saliva. Holy shit. Is this for real? I don't even know about this. Is the Great Xia Mansion really that strong? In his eyes, the Great Xia Mansion's strength was not even as strong as the Great Ming Mansion. Then, does the Great Ming Mansion also have many experts? Usually, the Great Ming Mansion's main experts are all holed up in their own homes. They have conquered 3 small worlds and are free to control them. There are no late-stage Sun and Moon realm guards. The Great Xia Mansion is different. Almost all the small worlds that the Great Xia Mansion has conquered have late-stage Sun and Moon realm guards. I understand. Su Yu said in shock, you mean that this time, after I beat up your uncle, Lord Xia wants to recruit experts back? Of course. That's his son, his only son. Do you think he wants to be recruited or not? However, there's no reason for him to do so normally. Otherwise, the Great Xia Mansion would appear to be too nervous and worried. Now is the chance. Damn fatty, don't fool me. In order to fight for power and benefits, you used me to beat up your uncle. Then, your Xia family will really come and kill me. I still don't feel at ease. Is it really okay? Is it really okay to beat Xia Sini to death? To beat his body to death and leave behind a trace of his will? If he was careless, he would die. Stop talking nonsense. It's fine. Trust me. Who are you talking to? Su Yu cursed and quickly said, then tell me your whereabouts and the number of guards. All right. Soon, Xia Huyo sent over Xia Sini's recent schedule, including the guards around him. He even told Su Yu his weaknesses, afraid that Su Yu would not be able to kill his uncle. He was really inhuman. Su Yu was secretly speechless. If I were to destroy Xia Sini's body, it would be fine if I knew. Those who did not know would probably think that I was crazy. Even the son of Lord Xia Ho and Xia Longwu's cousin were blown up. The Xia family had very few members. Lord Xia Ho and Xia Longwu had a very good relationship. Blowing up Xia Sini might make the Xia family even angrier than blowing up Xia Huyo. Thinking of this, Su Yu suddenly sent a message to Xian Jia, Elder, I want to take revenge on the Xia family, on those who betrayed us. Take revenge on everything. Elder, Help me tell the important figures of the heaven hunting pavilion that those who betrayed us will have to pay the price sooner or later. Xian Jia was dumbfounded. Was Xian Jiu killed and replaced by someone else? It's fine if you just pretend for a while, but you can't stop pretending. Who do you want to take revenge on? I'm going to kill Xia Huyo. Xian Jia wanted to curse. Do you think I'll believe you? Are you serious? Regardless of whether I'm serious or not, you have to convey my words to the higher-ups first. I want to take revenge. I'm a crazy Xian Jiu. At this point, Suyu suddenly asked curiously, Elder, which side are you on? Are you from a small clan or my human clan? There were only two possibilities. The first possibility was that it had nothing to do with him. He could not wait for the large clans to fall into chaos. He wanted to watch the fun and see if it was too big of a deal. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2031. 2031 Chapter 449 Xianjiu made a name for himself. 3. The second type, the human race, might be related to the Great Xia Mansion or other human realm experts, so they did not betray Suyu. Xianjia replied after a while, I'm actually your grandfather. You don't know about your grandfather, right? I'm actually your grandfather. I left not long after your father was born. I was ordered by the great Xia king to enter the heaven hunting pavilion. F***CKU. F***CKU, you took advantage of me. You're from the human race. Shouldn't the minister of the Mystic Division know about your identity? He doesn't know about your disguised identity. Hee. It's true. My real name is Su Nansheng. It means Nan Yuansheng. Since you've asked, I won't hide it anymore. Grandson, call me grandfather. I'm proud of you. Damn it. Su Yu cursed in his heart. This old man teased me and took advantage of me. Bastard, I'll beat you to death sooner or later. He ignored him and turned off the communication. Go to hell. I'll beat you to death sooner or later. No, I've found your whereabouts. I'll ask Zhu Tiandao to inform the Darming King to beat you to death. Old bastard, call me grandson, we're not done. Su Yu ignored him. At this moment, near the Tang mansion, Xian Jia, who had escaped into the void, chuckled. Soon, he contacted the law enforcement elder. 8th elder, Xian Jiu said that someone betrayed him. He will get back at them. The Xia family killed his subordinates, and he will take revenge on the Xia family. When the revenge is over, he will open the public channel and confront Huang Jiu. He feels that Huang Jiu and Huang Jia are suspected of betrayal. He has been betrayed. The law enforcement elder was silent for a moment. He sent a message. What do you think? He and Huang Jiu are not in contact with the branch, and they are not replying to the message. Do you think that there are any problems with them? Or, do you think that there are any problems with anyone? You are Xian Jiu's superior. Do you know his identity? Will there be any problems with him? That is hard to say. According to the rules, I will not reveal the specific information, but, according to the information I have, he will not betray us. There is no premise or motive for betrayal. Of course, I cannot guarantee that. Alright, then let's wait a little longer. He wants to take revenge on the Xia clan. The Xia clan is currently on high alert. The great Xia clan is an inescapable net. If he betrays us, there's no need for him to put on a show with the Xia clan. On the contrary, it would seem very foolish. The law enforcement elder said this. If he wanted to get rid of the suspicion and kill a few small fries to show his stance, then there was really no need for him to do so. He was too stupid. I'm not too sure. Look at him. If there is a problem with Xianjiu, then 8th elder can deal with it himself. I understand. In addition, there are people watching the East and West pavilions. Someone knows everything that happened. The East and West pavilions have also given some judgments about whether there is a problem. I will deal with it at my discretion. 8th Elder, please do as you please. It's not convenient for me to say anything right now. Okay. The communication between the two ended here. Xian Jia did not say anything more. At this moment, Su Yu was taking revenge overnight. Taking revenge overnight. Acting had to be real. He sneaked into the Great Xia Prefecture capital again. Soon, Bai Junsheng appeared in the city. Since Bai Feng was covering for him, Su Yu was not afraid of anything. Xia Sini was going to inspect the Xia Trading Company today. Of course, he was in the city. The Great Xia mansion was in turmoil, and Xia Sini was an important figure in the Xia family. He did not plan to leave the city at this time and cause trouble for the Xia family. He was just going to inspect some of the shops in the city. The prefecture capital of Great Xia had always been very safe. Of course, a few days ago, a general was killed. This was an accident. That Xian Jiu was being chased so hard that he could not escape. Who knew where he was eating dirt? Su Yu had his exact location. Xia Sini wasn't very strong, and had just entered the mountain and sea realm. He had guards, and the two of them were both at the peak of the mountain and sea realm. They weren't weak, or rather, very strong. In the city, such strength was enough to hold them off for a while. The city was the territory of the Xia family, and there were many experts. Who would dare to do such a thing here? Furthermore, his whereabouts were very secretive, and most people didn't know. Even his daughter might not know. Destroy Xia Sini. 2 Peak Mountain and Sea Cultivators. Su Yu secretly judged that this difficulty was still there. He had to be fast, very fast, super fast. 1-hit kill. 1 hit, and Xia Sini was destroyed. Then, he quickly fled. He transformed into Bai Junsheng and continued to hide in the Institute of Civilization. This was the safest place. Of course, Su Yu couldn't be bothered with that old B** starred from the Heart Cultivation Pavilion. He nearly killed him. After this, Xian Jiu's great name would probably become famous throughout the heavens. Xian Jiu from the Heaven Hunting Pavilion was an awesome person. A madman. He would seek revenge for the smallest grievance. When the Xia family dealt with him, he turned around and blew up the important figures of the Xia family. If such a figure wasn't a madman, then what was? Moreover, this was the Xia family's territory, their old nest. With such a face slap, the Xia family would definitely fight to the death with him. Su Yu was still calculating. After a moment, his heart moved slightly as he walked out of his small courtyard. At this moment, a few people walked over from the opposite side of the courtyard. When they saw Su Yu, someone smiled and said, "Brother Bai, are you going out?" Su Yu said casually, "Yes, I'm going out for a walk. It's too boring here." "Where are you guys going?" "I'm going to go outside the academy to buy some things. It's not safe to go out now. That Heaven Hunting Pavilion is killing people everywhere. If my brother doesn't go out, it'll be troublesome. It's too boring to stay here." "Brother Bai, you still don't know, right? What's the Heaven Hunting Pavilion?" The person who spoke laughed and said, "Not long ago, Heaven Hunting Pavilion was badly beaten up by Manager Hu and the others. 2 Sun and Moon experts died, 2 peak experts of the Mountain and Sea realm died, and even an elder at the late stage of the Sun and Moon realm was beaten up by Manager Hu until he vomited blood and fled." You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2032. 2032 Chapter 449 Xianjiu made his name for. Really? Su Yu was surprised. Is Huang Jiu from the Heaven Hunting Pavilion dead? The person I hired last time was that Huang Jiu who protected me. He's pretty strong, killing a few Mountain Sea Realm warriors. Everyone had heard about this, and someone quickly said, there's a talent hunting list, so we need to report it to the Great Xia House's Dragon Martial Guards. Brother Bai, report it earlier, or the Dragon Martial Guards will vent their anger on you and cause trouble for you. How can that be? My brother is Bai Feng, and Dean Hong is very good to me. Why would the Dragon Martial Guards cause trouble for me? That's hard to say. Those who hold the talent hunting list are all big shots. In the Great Xia Mansion, Brother Bai should be more careful. Even Dean Hong might not be able to protect you. Is that true? Of course it's true. Brother Bai, go file a report as soon as possible. Su Yu frowned. After a long while, he said, why don't I go now? To the Dragon Martial Guards. Where can I register it? Brother Bai, come with us. We're also going out. We'll pass by there. When we reach the place, you can register it. Alright then, sorry to trouble you guys. Su Yu and the others exchanged pleasantries for a while before he inconspicuously blended in with them. Everyone went out together. After leaving, I'll go prepare a case, and at the same time, beat Xia Sini up to prevent him from leaving too abruptly. And at this moment, Xia Sini was completely unaware of all of this. Whether he beat him up or not, he knew nothing. Walking out of the city lord's manor, Xia Sini was also very low-key. Recently, things had not been peaceful, so he had to keep a low profile. His father was not back yet, and he was walking leisurely on the road, as if he was not nervous at all. Chief Hu was about to curse out loud. If he did not return soon, the Great Xia Manor would really be in trouble. Forget it, forget it. He just had to keep an eye on the Xia clan trading company. A large batch of goods had arrived in the next 2 days, so he had to go check it out. As for the rest, he would wait for his father to return before deciding. The 2 guards had been hiding in the void, and they could not be detected unless it was the sun or the moon. Xia Sini was very low-key, and he was dressed in plain clothes. Not many people knew him. He walked all the way to the Xia Trading Company. It was not too far from the city lord's mansion. That was also the downtown area. Nonsense, if it was not the downtown area, why would he open a trading company? Although he was vigilant, he was not worried at all. Don't mess around, it was right in front of his house. Even the general who was killed last time was because the mansion was far from the city center. He was here and was very close to the city lord's mansion. Chief Steward who was in the city lord's mansion. If reinforcements came, they would arrive in 3 to 4 seconds at most. In such a short amount of time, he was still afraid of danger. He couldn't even leave the door of the mansion. Xia Sini continued to walk forward. As for Su Yu, he didn't have much to do. He just needed to find out where Xia Sini was and what time he would arrive. Then, he would instantly punch him and blow him up. After that, he would instantly return and hide in the crowd. As for searching, General Manager who wasn't invincible. Why would he be afraid of being searched by him? As Su Yu's strength increased, his transformation, endurance, Yin, and Jing divine inscriptions advanced, and his Xian turtle breath hiding technique became more and more powerful. In addition, Old Bull had given him a hidden divine talisman. At this point, not many people could tell who he was. 2 peak mountains and seas, 1 mountain and sea, the target is still very obvious. Su Yu thought to himself, and his sensory jade continued to investigate. With a distance of 1,000 meters, he couldn't see anyone. All he had to do was suddenly charge out and punch him. Perfect. Just as he was thinking, Su Yu's heart skipped a beat. At this moment, Su Yu was at the main gate of the Dragon Martial Guards Yamen. He was chatting with a few fellows who had accompanied him out, and was about to head to the Dragon Martial Guards Yamen. Su Yu suddenly paused slightly, but he didn't attract anyone's attention. A few guards in front of the Dragon Martial Guards Yamen glanced at them, but didn't say anything. Those who came here were either here to do business or to look for someone. There was no need to care. No one dared to stir up trouble on the Dragon Martial Guard side. As for Su Yu, he instantly transformed into a gust of wind. In the blink of an eye, he was 1,000 meters away. He saw Xiaosini, as well as the two peak experts of the mountain and sea realm. The silence character was activated. The two peak experts of the mountain and sea realm hadn't sensed any danger, but at that moment, a huge fist suddenly appeared in the air. Boom! It was on the street, and as of this moment, a shocking scene was unfolding in front of everyone's eyes. A boom rang out. A middle-aged man was smashed into pieces by a single punch. His flesh and blood splattered everywhere, and he exploded. At this moment, the intrepid style of the people of the Great Xia Mansion was revealed. Dozens of people instantly drew their swords or sabers, drew their weapons, and did not disperse in a single blow. The two mountains and seas in the dark were slightly stunned. The next moment, one of them had bloodshot eyes and lost consciousness. He roared, "Young Marquis!" His roar echoed throughout the city. At this moment, a powerful aura emanated out from the city lord's manor. Bastard! Seal the city! Dragon Martial Guards, seal the city! All mountains, seas, sun, and moon in the city quickly gather together. Do not disobey orders. It was the voice of General Manager Hu, and he was going crazy. Heavens! Someone had killed Xiaosini right in front of his eyes. Lord Xia would definitely go crazy when he returned. As the mountain and sea protector roared, the surrounding people were stunned. Who? The young lord? Who was the young lord? Lord Xia's son. In that instant, the entire city was stunned. Lord Xia's son was in the city, not far from the city lord's mansion, right next to the headquarters of the Dragon Martial Guards. He had been beaten to death, and was torn to pieces. This was simply unbelievable, unimaginable. At this moment, the auras of the sun, the moon, and the mountains and seas exploded out. Su Yu quickly returned to chat with the other students. Suddenly, he looked over, his face blank. The other students were also completely focused on him. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2033. 2033 Chapter 449 Xianjiu made his name 5. In the next moment, hundreds of Dragon Martial Guards rushed out of the Dragon Martial Guards gates. A few experts flew into the air, and no one cared about Su Yu and the others at the gates. Su Yu and the others blocked the way, but they were also violently pushed away by the Dragon Martial Guards. These people quickly gathered in the city. The Great Xia family's war system was instantly activated. Woo woo woo. The sound of a horn sounded. This was a huge matter. The Xia family members had been killed not far away from the Xia family's city lord's mansion. Manager Hu's furious roar resounded throughout the city. 7 or 8 auras of the sun and moon swept across the city. Dozens of auras of the mountains and seas gathered. A long spear shot into the sky. General Zhao charged out from the Yamen headquarters behind Su Yu. His killing intent shook the heavens, and his anger could not be suppressed. At this moment, the Great Xia Manor had attracted countless experts. Seal the city. No one is to enter or leave within 3 days. All citizens, go home immediately and wait for the search. Those who leave the city without permission will be killed without mercy. Dig 3 feet into the ground and find the murderer. In the sky, a bright sun reflected in the sky and intimidated the entire city. General Hu held a small ball in his hand that could shatter at any time. His fury was overflowing. Xianjiu. It's you, isn't it? Heaven Hunting Pavilion, you've gone mad, you're dead. Summon the Emperor of Great Xia, summon Mansion Master Xia, summon Lord Xia, and annihilate Heaven Hunting Pavilion. General Manager who couldn't remain calm anymore. Lord Xia's son wasn't dead. However, his physical body was gone, and his sea of consciousness was severely injured. Under such circumstances, Lord Xia had returned. He was too ashamed to face anyone. It was right under his nose. Master Xia Ho's son had been destroyed. Heaven Hunting Pavilion. That fist was definitely Xianjiu's. He had seen it before. Seal the city. He wanted to search for the other party. The other party hadn't left the city, so he definitely hadn't. He had to be hiding among the crowd. This time, no matter what price he had to pay, he would definitely find the other party and kill that fellow before Master Xia Ho returned. He had thought that the other party was just a small fry, but he did not expect that the other party was not a rat. Not only did he not hide, but he was also audacious enough to kill an important figure of the Xia family. His eyes were ice cold. Also, how did the other party know that Xia Sini was here? Even he did not know where Xia Sini was going. He looked at the two crazy guards with ice-cold eyes. Did these two idiots not feel any sense of danger at all? Or did the Heaven Hunting Pavilion even corrode them? This was bad. He had to report this to Master Xia Ho. Manager who was helpless. He could predict that Master Xia Ho would go crazy. The Xia family valued their descendants very much. Because there were too few of them, Master Xia Ho only had one son. A large number of troops moved out and quickly sealed off the entire city. No one was allowed to enter or exit. All the citizens were forcefully ordered to return home. The embassy stationed in the Great Xia Mansion was heavily guarded. No one was allowed to enter or leave. This was especially so for the Great Xia Institute of Civilization. Because there were outsiders, the White Dragon of the 8th level of the Sun Moon personally guarded it. No one was allowed to leave without permission. Those who went out had to return immediately. One by one, messages were quickly spread out. Urgent news: Lord Xia's son, Xia Sini, has been blown up by Xianjiu on the street. Hu Dihao and Zhao Rui have sealed off the entire city, preventing anyone from entering or leaving. The experts of the Great Xia Mansion will return soon, and the entire city will be under martial law. Urgent news: Xia Sini has been killed, and the Great Xia Mansion is in chaos. The Xia family has sealed off the entire city and destroyed everything. All communication channels are silent. Everyone, stand by. Once you are discovered, self-destruct immediately. Think about your families. Messages quickly spread to all directions. Soon, all messages stopped. No more messages were sent. To prevent others from tracking the transmission frequency, the entire Great Xia Prefecture capital quickly entered a state of war readiness. At this moment, Lord Xiaoho, who was almost at the Grand Xia Prefecture, suddenly staggered. His eyes were bloodshot as he roared, "Quickly gather all the sun and moon in the Grand Xia Prefecture and return. I want to raise the Heaven Hunting Pavilion to the ground. Return, quick, return to the prefecture." Lord Xiaoho roared in anger and hysteria. The experts around him were all extremely shocked. At this moment, Lord Xiaoho was at the 8th level of the Sun and Moon realm. His might covered the heavens and earth, shaking the entire area. The news also quickly spread to the heavenly battlefield. Not long after, the Sun-Moon realm experts from the heavenly residence and the Grand Xia Manor quickly retreated and flew towards the Grand Xia Manor. After a while, the heavenly passageway opened. A total of 8 Sun-Moon realm experts rushed towards the Grand Xia Manor. At this moment, Heaven Hunting Pavilion, Human Realm Branch. Bai Yi and the others looked at each other. The law-enforcing elder couldn't help but knock on his golden mask. It was going to explode. It was really going to explode. After a moment of silence, he quickly said, "Hide all the white masks. The headquarters has received the news that the Human Realm Branch has stopped operating. Hide all the elders separately. All the members of Heaven Hunting Pavilion remain silent and no longer contact each other. Evacuate all the members of the Great Xia Mansion. The Xia family is going crazy. Damn it, Xianjiu is crazy. Damn it. If I knew this would happen, I would have killed Huangjiu to give him an explanation. The law enforcement elder was stunned. Are you crazy? You killed the crown prince in front of him in the territory of the Great Xia Mansion. Xia Sini was the grandson of the Great Xia King. The Great Xia King only had 2 grandsons, one was Xia Longwu, and the other was Xia Sini. You killed Xia Sini. Damn it, you're too crazy. Yuan Qingdong was also the grandson of the Great Yuan King, but the Great Yuan King had so many grandsons. Yuan Qingdong had been attacked in the Great Xia Manor, and Xia Sini was right in front of his own house. This was a provocation. A face-smacking frenzy. At this moment, the law enforcement elder was on the verge of collapse. The Xia family must not be done with the Heaven Hunting Pavilion. There must have been news that the Xia family had even brought back the sun and moon that had been stationed in the small world. A large number of the sun and moon had returned to the Great Xia Manor. They were going to fight the Heaven Hunting Pavilion to the death. Xianjia, you. If you contact Xianjiu, you, forget it. The law enforcement elder didn't know what to say anymore. Previously, when Xianjiu said that he wanted revenge, he didn't take it seriously. Now, he regretted it. F***ck, if he had known earlier, he wouldn't have let you take revenge on the Xia clan. You killed Xia Sini, this matter is not over. On the East and West Pavilion side, they were constantly sending messages to ask this madman whether he was from the 4 tribes or not. Some members of the East and West Pavilions had seen that punch with their own eyes. That punch had shattered Xia Sini into pieces. Now, they were almost scared out of their wits. The city had been sealed. This time, who knew how many people had been implicated to death by Xianjiu? Bastard! The entire human realm was in turmoil this time. Yuan Qingdong's friends were also frantically hurrying towards the Great Xia Manor. Something big was about to happen. They had to quickly go and take a look. Of course, it was best not to go to the main city. They could just watch the commotion nearby. This time, the Xia family was going crazy. They did not know if Lord Xia would pierce through the heavens. His son had been killed. How could he remain calm? If the Xia family went to kill the people from the Heaven Hunting Pavilion, would the Xia family not have the energy to care if the Nanyuan relic came out? Of course, they also had to be careful of the Xia family going crazy and taking revenge on everyone. These people once again called out to their friends. If more people went, everyone would go. If the Xia family went crazy, they would at least have the strength to fight back. The Xia family would not vent their anger on them. This time, even more people rushed to the Great Xia Manor. Those people were right. If the Southern Origin remains appeared at this time, the Xia family would not have the time to care about them. If they did not kill the Heaven Hunting Pavilion fellows, the Xia family would lose all of their face. Xia Sini's death had too much implications. At this moment, even the heavenly battlefield was in turmoil. The Great Xia King wanted to return, but the borders were in turmoil. The Great Xia King had to stay. He was so angry that the Great Xia King could not contain his anger. He directly started a great battle with an invincible demon in the border region. Of course, the opponent was from the blood-fire demon race. According to the Great Qin King, everyone should ignore them and let these 2 belligerent fellows fight to calm their anger. Regarding the matter of the human realm, the invincible ones all knew about the situation. The Great Yuan King's grandson was almost killed, and the Great Xia King's grandson was directly killed. The entire Great Xia Manor was now in chaos. On the Heaven Hunting Pavilion side, the branches in the heavenly battlefield had begun to evacuate. According to the Heaven Hunting Pavilion headquarters, it was very dangerous now. The Grand Xia King might disregard everything to kill these people, but he had to be careful. In the short term, he had to stop taking action. A single Xianjiu caused the entire heavens to shake. This madman, you ran to the door of his house and killed the core members of his family, and you even killed the members of the Xia family who didn't have many children. How could the Xia family not go crazy? The original chaos cannot, this is to add to the chaos. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2034. 2034 Chapter 450 I have a big backer one. 10,000 words count as a big chapter. The great Xia capital city was sealed. Su Yu returned to the academy with a face full of shock. His face was full of shock and dullness. Of course, the people around him were the same. Some had ugly expressions, some looked worried, and some were indignant. The grandson of the great Xia emperor had been killed in the street. This was different from an assassination. This was a direct slap to the face, and this face was swollen. An assassination was an enemy's insidiousness. But now, it was outside the headquarters of the Dragon Martial Guards, near the city lord's mansion. The Xia family's prince had been killed with a single punch. This was simply humiliation. The Xia family's face had been trampled to the ground. They trampled on it with all their might. A young student beside Su Yu said angrily, "They deserve to be killed. They deserve to be killed. Those bastards from the heaven-hunting pavilion are courting death. The great Xia family must fight them to the death this time. We must kill them." Su Yu also said solemnly, "That's right. Although I'm not from the great Xia family, we are all humans. No, I have to let my brother talk to them. I, Dean Hong, will definitely have a way to find that Xianjiu and kill him. If we don't drag this kind of person to the great Xia mansion and tear them into pieces, we will be letting everyone down." Su Yu gritted his teeth and said, "This is too arrogant. Our Bai family still has some influence in the great Ming mansion. If it doesn't work out, our Bai family, forget it. If we interfere now, the Xia family will think that we are a joke. Brother Bai, you are too kind." Someone beside him sighed, "This time, we have really lost a lot of face. Not only did we lose face. This Xia Sini's highness was killed. This is simply bullying us too much. Our great Xia residence has given way again and again. Until now, no one has put us in their eyes. This is too much." A group of people were filled with righteous indignation. They were not familiar with Xia Sini, but this was the Xia family's highness. He was killed on the street. Everyone held their anger and could not contain their anger. This was too much of a bully. This time, if the Xia family did not seek revenge, no one would be able to stand this injustice. Today, they dared to kill Xia Sini at the Xia family's gate. Tomorrow, they would dare to kill innocent people in the city. At this moment, Bai Feng hurried over. When he saw Su Yu chatting with those people, he was slightly startled. "Why are you here? Didn't you King go to kill Xia Sini?" He was also worried that something would go wrong on Su Yu's side. How could he kill Xia Sini all of a sudden? Seeing that Su Yu was fine, he said angrily with a dark face, "What are you running around for? It's so dangerous outside, who let you out? Teacher Bai. Researcher Bai." Su Yu said with an indignant face, "Brother, why are you scolding me? I was going to look for you, but you asked Dean Hong to kill that Xianjiu, even if it means dismembering him into thousands of pieces. This is too hateful, this is too much. You." Bai Feng cursed in his heart. "I will dismember your body into 10,000 pieces right now. Cut the crap. Follow me to the research institute. The city is sealed now. We have to thoroughly investigate the members of the heaven hunting pavilion. Don't run around. Got it." Su Yu said goodbye to them. Then I will go to the research institute. Everyone, be careful. Damn the heaven hunting pavilion. If I had known that they were so bad, I wouldn't have contacted them at all. If it doesn't work, I will set up a trap and say that I have a mission to lure them out. Brother, kill them all. Bai Feng's face was cold. I'll kill you first. Who the hell are you? Don't you have any idea? The heaven hunting pavilion became famous all of a sudden. Of course, it was also notorious. Wasn't it your doing? You have the nerve to cry like a cat crying over a mouse. Cut the crap. Let's go. Suyu nodded, still indignant. Brother, this heaven hunting pavilion is really not good. I can't stand it anymore. As he followed Bai Feng to the research institute, he cursed, killing people on the street, and killing an invincible descendant. This is simply too much. This is still the Great Xia Manor, but if it were the Great Ming Manor, wouldn't that be even more outrageous? This is too much. Bai Feng's face was black, and his face was ashen. He was furious. That's enough. Is it fun to scold yourself? Have you had enough acting? Why did you kill Xia Sini? He was worried and solemn. What was going on? He believed that there was some misunderstanding or insider information. Suyu would not kill Xia Sini for no reason. However, he received news that Xia Sini was indeed killed and exploded on the spot. Countless people saw it. Just as he was thinking, a group of people was running ahead. It was Xia Huyo. At this moment, Xia Huyo was leading a lot of people. They were all guards. His face was ashen and his eyes were red. When he saw Bai Feng and the others, he only nodded casually. Very quickly, he ran far away and shouted, "Seal off the Great Xia Civilization Academy, the Myriad Races Academy, and the Many God Literature Academy. No one can enter or leave." "Yes, General." A group of soldiers shouted. Xia Huyo rose into the air, he shouted, "I am Xia Huyo. From now on, seal off the Great Xia Institute of Civilization. There are many experts from the myriad races in the institute. I hope that you do not stir up trouble at this moment. My Xia family's direct line of descent has been killed and my uncle has died tragically. If you dare to cause trouble at this moment, kill without mercy." Xia Huyo's eyes were red as he roared, "Quick, seal off all the passageways. Not a single expert from the myriad races can be missing. If one is missing, I will exterminate your entire clan." At this moment, many people flew out. This included the little fairy from the immortal race. When she saw Xia Huyo's current state, she didn't dare to be careless and didn't dare to approach him. The Xia clan's eyes were reddened. Xia Huyo was usually quite easy to talk to, but at this moment, his anger towered into the heavens. Beside him, one could faintly sense the auras of several suns and moons. Xia Huyo shouted once more, "Everyone, return to your own rooms. Don't leave. Everyone, people from the Great Xia Manor, I think I can understand the Xia family's feelings at this moment. Later, there will be some searches. No matter if you are dissatisfied or angry, the Xia family must be searched." You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2035. 2035 Chapter 450, I have a powerful backer too. My Xia family has been established for more than 300 years and has never mistreated anyone. Now that someone has killed my uncle on the street, the enemy must be hiding in my city. Perhaps there might even be a mole who has tipped them off. My uncle's whereabouts are secretive, so it's impossible for him to be killed in one strike. Xianjiu had just been injured by manager who outside the city not too long ago, so how could he quickly grasp all the information? Anyone who has information can come to my Xia family and report it. My Xia family will definitely be highly rewarded. When these words were said, many people also nodded gloomily. It was reasonable. Xia Huyo looked at the experts from the Myriad Clan Academy and the many Divine Literature Academy who were soaring in the sky and shouted, "All of you, quickly return to your rooms. Don't make a mistake. Today, those who dare to provoke our Xia family, regardless of race, must be killed. Gods and demons, our Xia family has killed quite a number of them." A furious shout filled with killing intent caused those experts to become solemn and quickly descend. At this juncture, provoking the Xia family wasn't a good choice. They would be killed as scapegoats. Amazing. Su Yu almost gave a thumbs up. Damn, you. Those who didn't know would think that you really didn't know anything. Damn it. You're better at acting than me. I'm a little exaggerated, but you're not exaggerated at all. Acting, that's real acting. Look at the veins popping out, look at the bloodshot eyes, look at the swollen eyelids that might be caused by tears, look at the murderous expression and language. You're an old actor. Xia Huyo looked around with murderous intent and also saw Bai Junsheng. He did not know that Bai Junsheng was Xianjiu or Su Yu, but this time, with a sweep, he was slightly stunned. Why was Bai Junsheng still in the Great Xia mansion? Why hadn't he left yet? He knew that Bai Feng did not want the Bai family to get involved. Since that was the case, he would send his younger brother away as soon as possible. What was the point of keeping him? His heart moved slightly as he thought of something. He knew that Su Yu was Xianjiu's, so he must be in the city now. Su Yu had disguised himself as Cui Lang before. F***ck. Xia Huyo cursed in his heart. 2 days ago, he had seen Bai Junsheng once. Could this dog be Su Yu's disguise? He swept past him and didn't look at him too much. However, he cursed in his heart. It was highly likely. No wonder this guy was so fast, accurate, and ruthless. He really was waiting outside my house. Ignoring Su Yu, he quickly led a large group of people and spread out in all directions, sealing off the entire academy. There were many experts in the academy, and it was also a good place to hide. There was no excuse for not sealing off and not searching this place. And at this moment, in the Heart Cultivation Pavilion, Wan Tiansheng looked down. He was thinking about a question. Was it me or Su Yu who was more powerful? I asked him to kill Yuan Qingdong and drew out some experts. All of them. But I didn't ask you to write your own script. What the F***ck did you mean by smashing Xia Xini's body into pieces? That's great. Was this Fatty Xia's plan, or was it Fatty Xia's plan? With this, most of the experts stationed in the heavenly battlefield could return naturally. It was just that Xia Xini had suffered. He was beaten until he was muddled. He probably really thought that someone wanted to beat him to death and he was lucky enough to escape. How pitiful. It was too miserable. There was also Hu Dihao. Were there 10,000 holy moles in his heart right now? He was probably still a little apprehensive, a little helpless, a little sorrowful, and a little angry. Killing someone in front of you, were you convinced? Wan Tiansheng shook his head. What a bunch of good actors. Each generation was stronger than the last. If Xia Huyo did not know, he would not believe it. He really did not know that this brat should be looking for him right now. He should be looking for Lord Xia Ho, his father, and his great-grandfather. He still had the mood to lock down the academy, which meant that he wasn't blinded by anger. This is great, the world is really focused. Wan Tiansheng was a little sad. If he had known earlier, would it have been easier for him to kill Fatty Xia? Alright, this also required the right time and place. If he didn't kill Fatty Xia, the world would be focused. Right now, the Great Xia Manor was the focus, and it involved a large faction like the Heaven Hunting Pavilion. It was easy for people to focus on them. Su Yu's timing was really good. Fatty Xia, it's about time to return. The myriad heaven saint looked into the distance. A moment later, a heaven-reaching aura spread out, shaking the great Xia manor. Lord Xia's cold voice came from the distant void. No one is allowed to leave the manor. As long as the murderer of my son is not executed, as long as the seal is not lifted, don't force me. All of you are forcing me. Don't force me to massacre. Master Ho. Someone shouted in a low voice. Master Xia Ho's voice disappeared, but everyone could hear the anger and coldness in his voice. This time, the Xia family was really going to kill someone. Within the city, a large number of dragon martial guards and mansion soldiers were mobilized. They searched every single house. They checked the hukou, checked their background, and checked their strength. After one round of screening, there was still a second and third round. In a large courtyard, more than 10 dragon martial guard powerhouses were screened once. Very quickly, someone reported in a low voice. That Ling Yun powerhouse quickly shouted, "Arrest them." Boom! In an instant, the battle erupted. A moment later, 3 followers of the 10,000 clans were killed on the spot. They died with their eyes wide open. Even until their deaths, they wanted to cry out their grievances. Damn it, they had hidden for so many years. In the end, they didn't fall into their own hands. They fell into the hands of an unknown Xianjiu. Grievance. The Xia family had not undergone a citywide screening for hundreds of years. This time, because of a Xianjiu, many people did not have time to hide. It was too fast. Such local battles continued to erupt in various places. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2036. 2036 Chapter 450, I have a strong backer 3. If they could escape the first time, they might not be able to escape the second time. The first time was led by Ling Yun, the second time was led by Mountain and Sea, and the third time was led by Sun and Moon. They searched layer by layer, from the sky to the earth. The Xia family was digging 3 feet deep into the ground. It was too hateful. At this moment, everyone in the great Xia family was filled with grief and indignation. How could the great Xia family suffer such humiliation? Even if the Xia family were to conduct a screening, everyone would still cooperate with them. They had to find that Xianjiu. If they did not kill him, everyone would feel aggrieved. And at this moment, in the city lord's manor, Chief Hu's face was filled with anxiety and helplessness. He lowered his head. This was the first time in so many years that he was so helpless and helpless. Marquis. Chief Hu carefully handed the round ball to Marquis Xia and said in a low voice, "I have already nourished it in time. Cindy's Sea of Will has been damaged and her body has exploded. I guess I can only cultivate from scratch." After saying this, he felt that he was too ashamed to face anyone. I've let down Lord Xia's trust. General Zhao also knelt down on one knee and his eyes were filled with killing intent. "Lord Xia, I'm useless. This time, if I don't kill Xianjiu, I'll die to atone for my crime. The great Xia manor has been in existence for 351 years and has never been humiliated like this. I've lost the dragon martial guards and the great Xia manor. I've let down Lord Xia's trust." The 2 experts, one civil and one martial, were filled with grief and indignation. They had let down the Xia family's trust. Under their protection, Xia Sini didn't die, but in this state, after cultivating for so many years, his body had exploded. Even if Xia Sini were to recultivate, he would still be in big trouble. Marquis Xia trembled as he caressed the ball. It was his son's sea of consciousness. He gritted his teeth. "Go out and search for him personally. Search for him. I want to see Xianjiu's corpse." "Yes, my lord." The 2 experts walked out of the city lord's mansion and personally participated in the search. This time, they wouldn't rest until one of them was dead. After they left, Xia Huyo had a sorrowful expression and said helplessly, F***ck. The next moment, he gritted his teeth and looked somewhere. Bastard! Look at what he did to my son. He was too ruthless. F***ck, can't he be a little gentler? His body exploded and his flesh and blood flew everywhere. This is too cruel. He's simply inhumane. Master Xia Ho cursed again and again. He was too inhumane. Also, his sea of consciousness was injured. He would have to spend a large amount of heavenly and earthly treasures to nourish it. Also, King destroyed it with one punch. Does my Xia family not care about our face? You are too ruthless. Master Xia Ho repeatedly cursed his ancestors in his heart. How hateful. You beat my son to such a state. As an old father, my heart aches so much that I don't even want to treat my son anymore. Not long after, someone outside the house said in a mournful voice, Second grandfather, I'm back. Come in. Grandfather. Outside, Xia Chan's mournful voice was also heard. Very soon, Xia Huyo and Xia Chan entered. Xia Chan's eyes were red. Grandfather, I must avenge my father. Grandfather, I have found Xianjiu. I want to cut him into 1,000 pieces. I heard that he is a member of the Fire Pupil clan. Grandfather, I want to bring my troops to the heavenly battlefield to wipe out this clan and pay tribute to my father's soul. Killing intent soared to the sky. At this moment, Xia Chan was filled with grief and indignation. My father had been killed. Xianjiu, this enmity was irreconcilable. As for the fact that his father's sea of consciousness still existed, this manager who did not even have the time to say it. Things had happened too quickly and too suddenly. At the side, Xia Huyo also nodded. Lord Xia Ho glanced at Xia Huyo and then looked at Xia Chan. He nodded and said, Chan, you go into seclusion. Immediately, break through to the sky. Don't delay any longer. This time, my Xia family will not let this matter rest. When you break through to the sky, you will be able to take revenge. Lord Xia Ho was also gnashing his teeth, turn grief and anger into strength. The Xia family's children do not rely on ruthless words to establish themselves in the world, but on strength. You do not have strength. Your father can only be beaten to death on the street. Your father does not have strength. Even if he was beaten to death, he would not be able to retaliate. My Xia family has yet to produce a woman who is invincible. You must remember everything that happened today. Take revenge. Do not only shed tears, you do not know how to improve yourself. When Xia Chan heard this, her eyes turned red and tears fell. She nodded her head fiercely. My Xia family's children will definitely take revenge. I want to become invincible. I want to kill and take revenge. This heaven-hunting pavilion is very powerful. My Xia family might not be able to defeat them now. Without saying anything more, Xia Chan left quickly with boundless anger and sadness. She was extremely motivated. I want to enter seclusion and break through the sky. Xia Chan left. Only the two of them were left in the room. Lord Xia Ho looked at his grieving grandnephew. After a long while, he scolded, F***ck, your biological uncle. You can do this. Xia Huyo raised his head and said helplessly, Uncle. Uncle, not biological uncle. Lord Xia Ho rolled his eyes. Why did you hit him so hard? It's fine as long as you were injured. Why did you hit him so badly? This is too tragic. As his father, I almost cried from watching. My body exploded. I'll fix it again. Xia Huyu said helplessly, moreover, it wasn't me who beat him up. That guy beat him up. I didn't expect that guy to be so cruel. He exploded in an instant. Master Xia Ho glared at him. After a long while, he said, why did you have to take your uncle out? With his talent, strength, and brain, he would be useless even if he was taken out. He might as well fight with my Xia family to the end. Xia Huyu thought for a moment and said, he's too weak. It's useless for uncle to join in. At least uncle can still give birth. Maybe he can give birth to a few to strengthen our Xia family's bloodline. Master Xia Ho thought for a moment and nodded. It made sense. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2037. 2037 Chapter 450, I have a strong backer requests for 4. After saying this, he no longer cared about his son's fear. He looked at Xia Huyo and said, that fellow is so ruthless. Doesn't he have a large amount of heaven and earth mystic light and sun and moon mystic yellow liquid? Didn't he say that he would compensate them a little? This fight is too miserable. Xia Huyo said speechlessly, no, he just needs to ask them for the mission fee. Screw him. Lord Xia Ho cursed, very quickly, he said, this time, if we don't kill him, the Xia family will lose face for sure. Kill more people from the myriad clans in the city. If it doesn't work, get the dragon martial guards to go out and raise dozens of strongholds and kill them all. Fill up the pit of the myriad clans. Also, take this opportunity to investigate those experts from the myriad clans in the academy. Investigate them bit by bit. If they don't listen, kill them all. Alright. Also. Xiahou Yi thought for a moment and said, go look for him again and exchange some heaven yuan qi for me. The more, the better. That fellow had a frightening amount of heaven yuan qi. He was crazily selling it in ancient starred city. It would be strange if he didn't sell it. Give me more, the better. He definitely won't do it for free. Second grandpa, we have no money. Nonsense, how can we have no money? Lord Xia Ho said exasperatedly, if we have money, how can we have no money? Great Xia Manor has a lot of assets, and the Xia Trading Company is worth billions of merit points. 30% of his shares are worth 1 billion merit points, so how can we have no money? Second grandpa, are you trying to get something for nothing? Xia Hu was speechless. Lord Xia Ho coughed lightly. It's fine, sell him. If it doesn't work out, sell something else. Our Xia family has plenty of money. If it doesn't work out, sell the secret realm of the school and sell it to him. In a few months, we can collect the money, send him a note, and add Great Xia Wangling to it. Xia Huyo rolled his eyes and ignored him. He looked at the ball again and coughed dryly. Then, uncle's situation. I won't recover for the time being. Bringing a living person away is not as simple as bringing a sea of will away. Master Xia Ho thought for a moment and said, tell me, where do you want to arrange for your uncle to go? Xia Huyo thought for a moment and said hesitantly, in the small world. That's not safe. Master Xia Ho shook his head and was silent for a moment before saying, if it really doesn't work out, then arrange for him to go to the ancient city and become a resident. This. Xia Huyu hesitated and said, then forget it. Not everyone is that guy. It's fine, but uncle definitely can't do it. How about we arrange for them to stay in the Great Ming Mansion? The situation there is better. That's true. Lord Xia Ho nodded. Then let's arrange it this way first. Sigh. He sighed. Very soon, Lord Xia Ho said again, this time, we have called everyone back. Xian Jiu can't really die so quickly. If he really dies, then we can't continue to keep him in the Great Xia Mansion. If it's embarrassing, then so be it. Let's just pester him for a few months first. In addition, ask that fellow to provide me with some information about the Heaven Hunting Pavilion members. It would be best if he has a position or something. Even if we don't kill him, we have to kill some Heaven Hunting Pavilion members to intimidate everyone. He might want to collect money. Xia Huyo muttered. Lord Xia Ho said angrily, money, money, money. This fellow has earned so much. Does he only know about money all day long? Believe it or not, I'll sell him right now and say that he's Xianjiu. Xia Huyo was speechless. You can say it too. All right, I will talk to him. As he said that, he said with some hesitation, Second Grandpa, tell me, how did this fellow's strength improve so quickly? He killed Uncle with one punch, cough cough, crippled Uncle. Does he have any relics? Ask him yourself, how would I know? All right. Xia Huyo nodded and said helplessly, speaking of which, this guy really knows how to stir up trouble. I only asked him to assassinate me, but he killed me in the open. He even killed me in the street. I think it's too much. Uncle is too miserable. Xia Ho glared at him. You also know that your uncle is too miserable. I thought you didn't know. Poor my son. He touched the ball again. How miserable. He was beaten into a ball. In the future, cultivate well. Remember today's miserable state. Don't think that your family is powerful and no one will dare to beat you to death. The Xia family was sympathizing with Xia Sini. At the Wentan Research Center. Su Yu said innocently, it has nothing to do with me. The Xia family asked me to do it. That Xia Huyo guy asked me to do it. How would I know that he was so ruthless? I'm a killer. A heartless killer. Hong Tan and Bai Feng glared at him. Hong Tan couldn't help but lecture him, aren't you afraid that Xia Huyo is preparing to usurp the throne? You dare to accept this mission? If Xia Huyo only made the decision himself, the Xia family wouldn't know. Do you think Lord Xia and the great Xia Emperor would believe you or his grandson? Hong Tan said speechlessly, you trust people too easily. How can you accept this mission casually? Once Xia Huyo lies to you, you're finished. Su Yu shrugged and said, to be honest, Xia Huyo and I have a little more relationship. I'll take it as returning the favor. If he really sells me out. I'm not someone to be trifled with. Moreover, there's a big shot in our academy who's protecting me. He should be protecting me, right? Su Yu probed and asked. Forget it, no one replied. He didn't know if that person was spying on them. Hong Tan didn't say anything else, he thought for a while and said, I just told you to be more careful. Xia Huyo might not be lying to you. Lord Xia Ho has also returned. He hasn't come looking for you now. There's probably no problem. But you, kid, you must learn a lesson. Hong Tan still lectured him. Su Yu was too easy to trust some people. After all, he was young, and he was loyal. Xia Huyo told him to kill Xia Sini, but he actually went to do it. Hong Tan was shocked. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2038. 2038 Chapter 450 I have a strong backer 5. If you accidentally kill someone, how are you going to explain it? Xia Huyo said that if you beat him until there was only a bit of willpower left, you would make sure that you could beat him to such a state. What if? If you killed him, would Lord Xia Ho let you go? This task was really hard and unrewarding. We let you create trouble, not to let you do such a big thing. Bai Feng was also speechless. Can't you stop? Also, what was the situation when you went to ambush Yuan Qingdong? That was what Manor Head One wanted me to do. The two of them were speechless. So they were using you as a hired thug. Hong Tan said angrily, don't listen to them anymore. They're using you as a hired thug. Speaking of which, it was really useful. I even want to use you. This kid, you can do whatever they want you to do. You've already done what they want you to do. Why don't you help your grandmaster do something? The two of them were also helpless. Suyu quickly said, "About that, Master, Grandmaster, I'm busy for a while. The Heaven Hunting Pavilion is looking for me for a meeting. Something about the law enforcement elder wanting to talk to me, and perhaps the pavilion master, pavilion head, and department head might also want to participate. I'll go to the meeting first. You guys can chat first." He patted his butt and left. He ran to the meeting. Bai Feng and Hong Tan looked at each other. Bai Feng was helpless. "I'm going into closed-door cultivation. I was almost Ling Yun, but I was interrupted by this kid again." How helpless. He also knew that Xianjiu had killed Xiaosini, so he had no choice but to come out of closed-door cultivation. In other words, this fellow was fine. If he had known earlier, he wouldn't have come out of closed-door cultivation. Look at this fellow. Is he speaking the human language? He went to a meeting. Maybe Invincible was involved. What the hell is this? His disciple and Invincible went to a meeting, and he was still working hard to break through to Ling Yun. His disciple's alt account was already famous across the world, and his main account was already famous across the world. His Cui Lang's alt account was also known across the world. His 3 accounts were all old acquaintances across the world, and he wasn't even famous for his main account. Bai Feng was helpless, and so was Hong Tan. "Forget it, I'll continue my closed-door cultivation." "Forget it. I can't do anything about it." At this moment, Suyu was indeed in a meeting. Everyone had pulled up a public channel and were looking for Suyu. "Xianjiu, where are you?" "Xianjiu, I'm the 8th elder of the Heaven Hunting Pavilion's Law Enforcement Department." Law Enforcement Department? Suyu was really unfamiliar with this department. Of course, he roughly knew a little about it. The internal organization could be considered as the superior organization of the law enforcement department of the 4 departments. There were quite a number of experts within, and they seemed to be almost invincible. Suyu checked the contents of their call. They were only asking him where he was, how he was doing now, and if he was still in the Great Xia Prefecture. Suyu thought for a moment. He quickly said, "I'm still alive." "Is Huang Jiu around?" "I want to confirm Huang Jiu's identity." "Huang Jiu, how did you survive until now? Why did the actions of the Kai-E law enforcers and U.S. attract Hu Diheo? Hu Diheo is in the Great Xia Prefecture. It would take him at least a few hours to get there. In the end, he arrived in an instant. He must have been lying in wait nearby. They might have known about our plan from the start. Everyone else is dead. Only you and I are alive. Huang Jiu, you have to give me an explanation." Suyu had appeared. Or rather, Xianjiu had appeared. At this moment, everyone was excited. This fellow was still alive. He was really capable. In the next moment, Huang Jiu replied as well, "Xianjiu, I don't know anything. I'm just following orders. I was lucky to be able to survive. I'd like to ask, where are you now? You killed Xiaosini and weren't found. Do you have another identity? Are you a human?" "Human? Hee, a thief calls himself a thief. Huang Jiu, I don't need to prove anything. So what if I'm a fire pupil? My fire pupil race's innate skill proves everything. Huang Jiu, if you are not a human, then show me one of your race's innate skills. Hee, this is the best proof. As for which race you are from, I don't care. If you are a human." Humph. Huang Jiu was silent for a moment before he quickly replied, "Innate blood essence. The human's innate blood essence can disguise the innate skill." Idiot. Did I swallow the innate blood essence? You were nearby at that time. Tell me, did you really not feel it at all? Huang Jiu, stop pretending. Also, if you don't dare to say it, the elder who went to save me at that time knows that I used the innate skill on him. That elder knows if I used the blood essence to explode. After saying this, there was a moment of silence. Soon, an elder labeled Tianyi said, "I can prove that Xianjiu did not consume the blood essence. He did use the innate skill." At this moment, Huang Jiu was very helpless. What should he do? It seemed that he was going to bear the name of this traitor. But I didn't betray him. I'm really wronged. Was Xianjiu a traitor? Could it be? Although he and Xianjiu were the only ones alive, this madman Xianjiu even killed Xia Sini. To be honest, who would believe that he, Xianjiu, was a human after he killed him? Xia Sini. Xia Sini might be a fake. You're acting with the great Xia family. Dying struggle. Su Yu quickly replied, "Whether it's Xia Sini or not, you all know. The Xia family has lost so much face. If it's for acting, then I have a lot of face. The Xia family are all idiots. In order to help me, a Xianjiu, they can even kill their own direct disciple for fun." Only at this moment did someone else speak up. Xianjia spoke up, "There can't be any problem with Xianjiu. Also, don't forget that he is a resident of Ancient City. He came to the human realm this time to get rid of his identity as a resident of Ancient City." You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2039. 2039 Chapter 450, I Have a Strong Backer 6. Before he could finish, Huang Jiu suddenly said, "Yes, you are a resident of the Ancient City, and you are stationed in the Ancient City of Xinghong. Su Yu is good at disguising his identity. You might be Su Yu's disguise." F***ck. Su Yu cursed silently. "You really can connect the dots." "Of course," he quickly retorted, "if you say so, then so be it." Su Yu. Su Yu is the city lord, and the city lord left the ancient city without permission. Hehe, do you think that's possible? If that's the case, the city lord of the 36 ancient cities would have left the city long ago. Su Yu is different. He sealed the city for many days and was fine. You are Su Yu. Su Yu cursed again. "Whatever you say, justice is in the hearts of the people." And at this moment, the law enforcement elder suddenly said, "All of you are suspects. Huang Jiu, come to the branch immediately to report your duty. Of course, we will send people to pick you up when you arrive at the specific location. Xianjiu, we will send people to the ancient city of Xinghong. Whether you are Su Yu, it's not completely impossible." Su Yu cursed in his heart. "Huang Jiu, you're dead meat." Of course, at this moment, he was still fearless. "You guys can go." If it wasn't for Huang Jiu's ulterior motives, there's definitely a problem. Not just him, but his superior as well. I'd like to see how you guys will answer to me if I prove that I'm not. After saying this, he quickly closed the call. Su Yu's expression changed slightly. F***ck. Huang Jiu, this bastard, really can connect the dots. Test me. If the Heaven Hunting Pavilion really sent people to test me, how would they test me? They might be cursing outside the city lord's manor. With my personality, would I be polite to you? I'm in big trouble. No, I have to call for help. 1 Tiansheng, Zhu Tiandao, Xia Huyo. These people were all people I needed to call for help. I have to send people to disguise myself before the Heaven Hunting Pavilion's people rush over. The key is that I have to enter the city lord's mansion. Who can enter? Su Yu had a headache. The boss of the stone sculpture, was he going to let him in? He didn't care anymore. He had to solve this loophole. Otherwise, if Su Yu didn't appear, Xianjiu's identity would be exposed. If he was exposed, he would have wasted his time. Not only was he in trouble, but Xianjia was also in big trouble. This Xianjia was either a human spy or a small clan that was partial to the human race. Of course, he might as well just be watching the show. However, it was illogical for a spectator to take such a big risk. If he really caused the black armor to die, it would be troublesome as well. Su Yu didn't care anymore and quickly sent a message. Old Wan, Old Zhu, and Xia Huyo all sent a message saying that they had to help me solve this big trouble. The Heaven Hunting Pavilion's communication was simple. Perhaps they would take action soon. They had to send someone into the city before them to help me solve this problem. Wan Tiansheng was speechless. Huang Jiu, it had to be said that this Huang Jiu had created some trouble for Su Yu. The Heaven Hunting Pavilion was an intelligence organization, and it was very sensitive. Even if they didn't believe it, they had to test it out before they could be at ease. If Su Yu really hid in the Heaven Hunting Pavilion, it would be very dangerous. This time, 2 mid-stage Sun-Moon realm experts had been killed. With Xian Zhou's reputation, he might soon become an elder. At that time, more experts would be killed. Ancient City. Didn't Su Yu say that he had a good relationship with the stone statue? It was not necessarily impossible to solve this problem. The prerequisite was that what Su Yu said was true and not nonsense. In the next moment, Su Yu's vision blurred and he appeared in the Heart Cultivation Pavilion. Wan Tianqing glanced at him and thought for a moment. You really have a good relationship with that stone statue? Of course. Then I'll use the time reversal method to look for that stone statue and discuss this matter. No matter how good the others are at disguising themselves, it'll be easy for them to be discovered. Only the stone statue is powerful enough to seal the city and open it up at his will. Killing a person who provoked him would be an even easier task. If he could explain the matter to the stone statue, everything wouldn't be a problem. Su Yu was stunned for a moment. Didn't you say that the time reversal method can only be used to probe one's memories? Could it really be used to communicate with the other party? Of course. Su Yu was taken aback. Was it really that mysterious? He had heard the undead sovereign mention it before, so he quickly asked, then, since you've never been there before, can you go back in time? Sure. Wan Tianqing nodded. Sure, I've been there before. Alright, you don't know. Cut the crap. I'll bring you to the River of Time once more. You'll come with me, and you'll personally communicate with the stone sculpture. Su Yu blinked his eyes. Was it really possible? It felt so incredible. It's fine. You've only been at the human realm for a few days, so it shouldn't be too difficult for you to travel back in half a month. The prerequisite is that the stone sculpture is really close to you. Brat, don't lie to me, or else I'll be in trouble. If you were to rashly travel back in time and interact with the ancient invincible state, it would be extremely dangerous if the other party were to harbor ill intentions. Such an ancient existence was very powerful. If he were to have a bad relationship with you, breaking the River of Time would be a huge problem. Moreover, if he were to bring Su Yu along, then Su Yu would be dead for sure. Su Yu thought for a moment and nodded. My relationship with the boss of the stone sculptures isn't bad. I've already said that when I arrive at the heavenly battlefield, he can help me kill many invincible existences. Isn't this a good relationship? A very good relationship. The next moment, a large river appeared. It was a raging river. A moment later, Su Yu and the 10,000 heavenly saints stepped onto the long river. Su Yu was surprised. We don't have the same memories. If I go with you, can I really return to the ancient city? I don't really understand. Forget it, I know too little about this. If Lao Wan says it's possible, then I'll believe it. A moment later. In the ancient city, the stone statue suddenly opened its eyes. At this moment, the stone statue saw a river appear outside the city. 2 people walked out. He knew Su Yu, and that person was also familiar. Suyu also saw the stone statue. His face was full of surprise as he looked at the stone statue in the city. He quickly said, "Sir, I've encountered some trouble. Soon, someone will come to the city lord's residence to test whether I'm there or not. Sir, can you help me hold on? Otherwise, I'll die. If I die, Sir won't have any capable subordinates to use, sir." He wasn't sure if the stone statue could hear him, but very soon, he heard the stone statue's reply. As if hesitating for a moment, the stone statue's cold voice sounded, "It's a small matter. The person beside you." After a pause, the stone statue didn't send a voice transmission to Suyu. Instead, it sent a voice transmission to the 10,000 heavenly saints, "You're very special, but a person like you won't have a future." Myriad Heaven Saint smiled and nodded his head slightly without saying anything else. Seeing this, the stone sculpture stopped speaking and closed his eyes. However, he was thinking in his heart. Just how strong was this fellow? The river of time had already reached this stage. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2040. 2040 Chapter 451 Small Tricks of the Stone Statue Boss 1. Suyu did not know about the conversation between the stone statue and Wan Tiansheng. At this moment, he felt very proud. He looked at Wan Tiansheng with a proud and boastful expression. "Look! I told you, I have a good relationship with the stone statue boss. Small matter. This is face, appearance." The stone statue boss immediately agreed to 1, 2, 3 things. Wan Tiansheng did not say anything else. Since the stone statue had agreed, then there was nothing much to worry about in the ancient city. Wan Tiansheng grabbed Suyu and entered the river of time once again, quickly regressing and returning to reality. Behind him, the voice of the stone statue could be heard, "No future does not mean there is no hope. Little friend, if you do not die now, the future may not be important. Thank you for your guidance, senior." Wan Tiansheng bowed slightly as a form of thanks. Suyu didn't see or hear anything. Wan Tiansheng was free and easy. He smiled and quickly grabbed Suyu and stepped into the river of time, disappearing outside the ancient city. Sigh. A soft sigh flowed through the river of time. A moment later, Suyu and the others returned. At the same time, in the ancient city, the stone sculpture opened his eyes, and some memories appeared in his memory. He seemed to have thought of something and looked at the endless void, deep in thought. Suyu had asked for its help, and it had agreed to it, right? Help. Trouble. Solving trouble. Understood. Of course, everything had to be done according to the rules. The ancient rules were the bottom line. For example, if someone provoked or caused trouble, it would be able to stand up for the city lord. If it stood up, the best way to solve the problem would naturally be to kill the other party. The stone statue had thought a lot, and it wanted everyone to know that Suyu was still in the city. Was that what it meant? It looked out of the city and looked very far. Time seemed to flow, as if it saw what would happen next and who would come looking for trouble. The stone statue slowly waited. And the heaven-hunting pavilion was also fast. The law-enforcing elder requested the headquarters to verify Xianjiu's identity. The heaven-hunting pavilion couldn't wait to verify Xianjiu's identity and ensure that Xianjiu wasn't Suyu. Although some people thought that it couldn't be Suyu, they still needed to be prepared. Xianjiu was strong enough, bold enough, and had strong business abilities. Although such a person was crazy, the heaven-hunting pavilion needed to be crazy. Xianjiu had a chance of becoming an elder, or even higher up. They had to make sure that he wasn't some special person. Not long after, a faceless man arrived outside the city with a few heaven-hunting pavilion members. The faceless elder looked at one of the black-masked men and said, "Go and test him. If Suyu doesn't appear and doesn't say anything, then leave the city." "Yes." Soon, the black-masked man entered the city and quickly entered the city district. After a while, he arrived at the city lord's mansion. Standing outside the city lord's mansion, the black-masked man was a little nervous. However, he quickly shouted, "City Lord Suyu, the heaven hunting pavilion has something to discuss. Please come out and meet them. City Lord Su, if you hear this, please come out and meet them." As the black-masked man shouted, some experts in the city heard the commotion and walked out of their houses. Of course, they all looked on coldly. Especially the sun and moon that had recently changed residence. They all looked on coldly. The heaven hunting pavilion must have nothing better to do. Why was it looking for Suyu to discuss something? The black-masked man shouted for a while, but did not receive a response. He became even more nervous. After hesitating for a moment, he still shouted, "City Lord Su, your father is in our hands. If you don't come out now. How dare you provoke me?" With a roar, the ancient city shook. A ray of black light shot out with a puff. The black-masked man directly exploded and shattered into pieces. At the same time, a shadow shot out and instantly appeared outside the ancient city with a punch. Boom! With a shocking explosion, a void crack appeared where the faceless elder and the others were. With a punch, everyone except the faceless elder died. And the faceless elder was also bleeding in the sea of stars. In the next moment, a furious roar resounded through the sky, "Heaven hunting pavilion, how dare you bully me, Suyu? Please let the ancient stone venerable leave the city. Please let the 36 holy city stone venerable help." As soon as he finished speaking, a stone statue floated in the air and punched out. Boom! Under the shocked gazes of countless residents, a punch shook the void and charged out of the city. The faceless elder's expression changed drastically. In the next moment, he did not have time to say anything. With a boom, his body exploded completely, including his sea of will. A full moon fell. The sound of the city's door closing rang out instantly. Countless people were shocked, stunned, terrified, and terrified. What the hell, what happened now? Also, the heaven hunting pavilion must have gone crazy. Did they have nothing better to do? Why did they provoke Suyu? An elder in the advanced stage of the sun and moon realm was killed just like that. And that was not all. At this moment, the void shook, and the projections of ancient stone statues appeared one after another. The images of ancient sacred cities appeared one after another, blotting out the sky and the sun. The 35 stone statues looked at the stone statues in the city. Inside the city, Xing Hong thought for a moment and said telepathically, "My city lord is asking for help. City lord, I personally appointed you. If you bully the city lord, you are bullying me." The 35 stone statues looked at him blankly. Among them, Tian Mia was even more dumbfounded. Even if he was not the real body, at this moment, he simply retraced the time and knew what had happened. He was extremely stunned. You, for the sake of a city lord who has been around for God knows how many generations, you, called us here to support you. Holy shit. Was Xing Hong crazy? Was he crazy? Was his head corroded by the death aura? Xing Hong ignored him and said quickly, "One punch per person, break the void, locate the heaven hunting pavilion headquarters, and destroy them." You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2041 2041 Chapter 451 Small Tricks of the Stone Statue Boss 2. The stone statues were all petrified. Xing Hong said again, "There's no need to locate anything else. The location of the heaven hunting list is where his headquarters is. Everyone, please make your move." They couldn't find the headquarters of the heaven hunting pavilion, but they could still find the heaven hunting list. That was because they knew the aura and appearance of the list. The group of stone statues continued to be petrified. Xing Hong didn't say anything. In the next moment, he punched out, shattering the void. The 35 stone statues were stupefied. A moment later, they punched out one after another. In the next moment, all the stone statues disappeared. Xing Hong was sick, so he retreated. This wasn't how the alliance of the holy city was used. Crazy. The group of stone statues came quickly and left quickly. A moment later, an earth-shaking loud sound was heard. At this moment, countless people saw the sky split open. Countless stars flickered. In the endless void, an incomparably huge palace was floating. At this moment, 36 fists suddenly smashed down on the palace. As they smashed down, they were accompanied by the stone statue shouts. "You are audacious. You dare to provoke the master of our sacred city. You shall be executed." Boom! At this moment, 6 invincible experts rose into the air from the ancient hall and attacked one after another. Boom! The endless void shook. 36 fists landed and struck across the void. The 6 invincible experts arrived personally and blocked the attacks one after another. The entire sky changed color. A deafening sound reverberated through the sky. In the blink of an eye, the huge fists disappeared. The 6 invincible experts' radiance, which was as bright as the sun, dimmed a lot. One invincible expert said angrily, 36 sacred cities, you. What happened? What happened? Holy shit. The Heaven Hunting Pavilion headquarters was attacked by the 36 ancient stone statues. In the next moment, they couldn't care less about this. The 6 invincible statues were so shocked that they pushed the ancient hall and disappeared. Run! Damn it, we're in big trouble. The Heaven Hunting Pavilion's mysterious location was hard to locate. The whereabouts of the invincible statues were unknown, and the headquarters was hard to find. At this moment, the 36 stone statues had destroyed the endless void with a single punch. Now that they had found their location, if they didn't run, would they still stay and wait for death? Run! These unrivaled experts pushed the great hall to flee frantically. At the same time, in the endless void, unrivaled experts activated the river of time in order to rush over. Someone tore through the void and rushed over. On the human side, the great Qin King and the great Xia King personally rushed over. On the celestial side, several godly kings tore through the void. The demon race, the immortal race, the dragon race, the dark race, the heavenly abyss race. In the blink of an eye, over 20 unrivaled experts tore through the void or activated the river of time to rush over. None of them said anything. However, they all explored the void and searched for the location of the Heaven Hunting Pavilion's headquarters. Rays of divine light lit up in the void. Usually, it wasn't that everyone couldn't do anything to the Heaven Hunting Pavilion. This organization was very annoying, but they were unable to track it down or locate it. This was the real trouble. Today, for some unknown reason, these fellows had provoked those ancient stone sculptures and were punched out of their positions. If they could capture the other party now, they would take the opportunity to exterminate them. One after another, the unrivaled experts swiftly investigated. Very soon, the unrivaled experts were slightly disappointed. They ran really quickly and disappeared once again. However, they knew at least one thing. The other party had been wandering in the endless void, and they also knew some accurate information and strength. There was really more than one unrivaled expert. This time, a total of 6 unrivaled experts appeared. They were probably all the unrivaled experts in their headquarters. The outside world guessed that there were 8 unrivaled experts in the Heaven Hunting Pavilion. 2 pavilion masters, 2 pavilion masters, and 4 department heads. Now, they had basically been confirmed. The remaining 2 might have left, so there were 6 unrivaled experts in the headquarters. Not long after, these people knew why the stone sculptures had appeared. On this day, Su Yu's name resounded throughout the world. The attention of the world. In an instant, he surpassed everyone, including the so-called Xianjiu. Su Yu was the first city lord to let the ancient stone sculptures make a move. This time, because the heaven-hunting pavilion was sick and crazy, they went to provoke Su Yu and said that his father had been captured. This caused Su Yu to fly into a rage and invite the ancient stone sculptures out. Xing Hong punched the sun and moon high elder to death. After that, he invited 36 stone sculptures and dealt a fatal blow to the heaven-hunting pavilion headquarters. After that, in the city, Su Yu even said that if the heaven-hunting pavilion didn't let his father go, he and the heaven-hunting pavilion would fight to the death. This time, the heavens were truly shaken. And this time, all the ancient city lords ate lemons. Heaven-destroying city. The Milky Way city lord was filled with jealousy, envy, and jealousy to the point of going crazy. F***ck. Su Yu could actually invite a stone sculpture, and it wasn't even one. What the F***ck was this? I'm also the city lord. Why do I have so little face? Let alone 36 sculptures, I can't even invite the one at my doorstep. This is the city lord. This is the overlord. Su Yu is the overlord. If you dare to threaten me, I'll destroy your lair. Don't think that your heaven-hunting pavilion is an ancient force with many unrivaled powers. I'm not afraid of you, so I'll force you to hand over my father. Otherwise, I'll fight to the death with you. Even with 8 unrivaled heaven-hunting pavilions, they would probably be crying right now. They would have to think of a way to resolve the conflict. It was too bleak. Those unrivaled ones probably did not know what had happened. In the end, their lair was destroyed by 36 unrivaled ones and their whereabouts were exposed. They were almost surrounded. Once they were surrounded, perhaps a few unrivaled ones would die this time. Were these the real city lords? As for Tianhe and the others, they were a bunch of fake city lords that no one would care about even if they died. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2042. 2042 Chapter 451 Small Tricks of the Boss of Stone Carvings 3. Su Yu was the peak of his life. One man, terrorizing the heavens. I'm the boss of my ancient city of Xinghong. I'm very happy. If you dare to provoke me again, I'll shake you. At this moment. The human border, East Rift Valley. A group of invincible people were stupefied. They were almost petrified. The others were better off. The great Xia Emperor was thinking about a problem. My waiter told me that the one who destroyed my grandson was Xianjiu. Xianjiu was Su Yu. Then may I ask, who was the one who was angry and caused the heavens to shake? Don't tell me that even Su Yu wasn't here, and the 36 ancient stone sculptures had acted for him. Wasn't this too much of an honor? Or was it that his son had been deceived, and that Xianjiu wasn't Su Yu? The Emperor of Great Xia suspected. It was possible. His expression was solemn. It wasn't impossible for this thing to be a fake, and the waiter hadn't seen it with his own eyes. This Xianjiu was Su Yu, so why couldn't someone be pretending to be Su Yu? Xianjiu might be fake. He was not Su Yu, but he had deliberately pretended to be Su Yu to mislead the Xia family. Yes, that must be the case. Even the great Xia king, who knew about it, thought so. He started to suspect Xianjiu's identity. Let alone those who did not know, how could Xianjiu be Su Yu? The great Qin king sighed and said, Su Yu. Human Su Yu. Sigh. This face, this confidence. He had really become the overlord of a region. After today's incident, who would dare to provoke Su Yu again? He must be crazy. A moment later, the great Qin king said with a faint smile, the heaven-hunting pavilion sent a letter, hoping that we can explain to Su Yu that his father was not captured. It was all a misunderstanding. The Heaven Hunting Pavilion wants to compensate for the losses and pursue the responsibility. They hope that Suyu will not pursue the matter any further. His father really was not captured. The group of invincible experts were stupefied. The Heaven Hunting Pavilion actually admitted defeat. Yu Wudi said in surprise, "They admitted defeat?" The great Qin King said helplessly, "The Heaven Hunting Pavilion isn't afraid of everyone. They're not afraid of gods and demons. They're not afraid of us. But clearly, they're afraid of those ancient stone sculptures because these stone sculptures can locate them." Everyone understood. Their expressions changed as they thought of something. Yes, these stone sculptures could locate the Heaven Hunting Pavilion. No wonder the Heaven Hunting Pavilion admitted defeat so quickly without any hesitation. They were powerful because they were mysterious and powerful because they were secretive. Now, the stone sculptures could locate them. If they punched again, the entire world would be prepared. If they were exposed again, they might be finished. Under such circumstances, how could they not admit defeat? If it were me, I would also admit defeat. The group of people looked at each other. The Heaven Hunting Pavilion, which had dominated the heavenly battlefield for countless years, actually admitted defeat to Ling Yun, dealt with the person in charge and compensated for the losses. This was too unbelievable. The human race wasn't the only ones who found it unbelievable. All the other races found it unbelievable. They couldn't believe it. And in the human realm, the moment they received the news, the Daemon King and Zhu Tiandao's jaws dropped to the ground. The father and son looked at each other in dismay. After a long while, the Daemon King muttered, "Xianjiu is fake. He's not Suyu." Zhu Tiandao looked at his father, and the Daemon King looked back at him. Was that what he meant? Suyu was in the heavenly battlefield. Not only was he there, but he was also free and unfettered there. He was extremely tyrannical and had truly become the overlord of a region. Even the powerful clans of the gods and demons might not dare to provoke him, so how could he be in the human realm? So they were deceived. The father and son's expressions were solemn. We were actually deceived. That Xianjiu was true Xianjiu, and not the Xianjiu that Suyu was pretending to be. How terrifying. Both of them had been deceived. This was too terrifying. At the same time, Wan Tiansheng was also speechless. He was the one who knew. Otherwise, he would have grabbed Suyu right now and studied whether or not he was Suyu. This face. Speaking of which, wasn't the ancient stone sculpture giving him too much face? The face it gave was so great that even Wan Tiansheng found it inconceivable. As for Suyu, he didn't think too much about it, nor did he have the mood to think about it. Because he realized that at this moment, his aura of death was boiling fiercely, and he had no choice but to sit down cross-legged and begin to dissolve the aura of death. Suyu was still cursing in his heart. He hadn't received the news yet. He had only asked the stone statue to help him solve a small problem. Why did so much aura of death suddenly erupt? Did the stone statue do something? How shameless. I asked you to do a small thing. Why did you give me so much death aura? Did you leave the city? Suyu cursed endlessly. Wan Tiansheng glanced at Suyu, who was still refining the death aura. His expression was complicated. You're doing really well. You're doing even better than me. If I had the protection of 36 ancient stone sculptures, I wouldn't even return to the human realm. Wan Tiansheng sighed, speechless, and sighed. Looking at Suyu who had dissolved the aura of death, he sighed and reached out his hand to grab the little furball in his head. The little furball stared at him with its eyes wide open, and Wan Tiansheng looked at the little furball as well. A moment later, he smiled and said softly, "What a rich bloodline power. If your clan becomes invincible, you're really the nemesis of invincibility." The little hairy ball trembled. Was he going to crush the ball to death? After mingling with Su Yu for so long, it knew what was meant by exterminating everything, and what was meant by getting rid of any future troubles. The 10,000 heavenly saints smiled again and said, "Cultivate well. The God-Eater God clan has many divine words. There are records in the ancient times that you are the best partners." After saying this, he stuffed the little hairy ball back again. The little hairy ball shivered. It was so scary. It was better to lick the divine runes to calm down. It began to lick in Su Yu's Sea of Will. At the same time. Human Realm. Heaven Hunting Pavilion Branch. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2043. 2043 Chapter 451 The Small Tricks of the Stone Statue Boss 4. The law enforcement elder lowered his head and didn't say a word. At this moment, messages kept coming from his mask. "You idiot, do you know how much trouble you've caused? Who told you to test Su Yu? Idiot, who told you that Xianjiu is Su Yu's? Do you have a brain? Be ****, do you know that because of your stupidity, the entire heaven hunting pavilion was almost destroyed? Curses." The one who was scolding him was not someone else, but an invincible person. He was really furious. The invincible person of the heaven hunting pavilion had only just found out that an elder had died in such a big incident. The reason was very simple. On the side of the human realm, a person called Huang Jiu suspected that Xianjiu was Su Yu. Su Yu asked the heaven hunting pavilion to test his identity. F***CK. You're trying to test your grandpa. Immediately get Huang Jia to report to the headquarters. No, capture Huang Jia personally, locate Huang Jiu, and kill him. This bastard, he's a traitor. Unrivaled was too lazy to investigate and investigate. Damn it. Because of this fellow's guess, the heaven hunting pavilion suffered heavy losses. The 6 unrivaled experts were all slightly injured. This wasn't the main point. The main point was that the heaven hunting pavilion's mysterious aura had been broken. Although the 6 unrivaled experts didn't reveal their identities, the heaven hunting pavilion's confidence and strength had been exposed. Their headquarters had also been exposed. Of course, they had been relocated. However, the cause of this matter was too infuriating. Su Yu is the overlord of a region. How could he be Xianjiu? Idiot. The invincible statues were furious. Nonsense. And the leader of the group deserved to die. This idiot. You used Su Yu's father to threaten him. How could he not be angry? How could he not be angry? How could he not go crazy? If they invited the stone sculptures, they would definitely pay a huge price. They actually knew some things about this. Soon, after the invincible statues were enraged, they regained their calm. Idiot, if Xianjiu is really Su Yu, the current him is probably about to die from the backlash. Contact Xianjiu now, and if Xianjiu replies. If you dare to doubt Xianjiu's identity again, don't think that you're the law enforcement elder, I'll hold you responsible too. He cursed loudly. I'm so angry. They had no choice but to be angry. Just because of a suspicion from Huang Jiu, you guys went to provoke Su Yu. Fine, if it wasn't for today's incident, they would have provoked him. It was actually not wrong for the law enforcement elder to send people to test Su Yu. However, the mistake was that Su Yu was very domineering and very confident. He instantly slapped the heaven hunting pavilion's face until it was swollen. After being scolded for a while, the entire branch was very quiet at this moment. Everyone also knew some of the situation. Seeing that the elder was listening attentively, everyone knew that the elder had probably been scolded badly. After a long while, elder of law enforcement regained his calm and said slowly, contact Xianjiu. Also, get Huang Jia to report his duty. Also, capture Huang Jiu. I want to personally take off his mask. Elder of Law Enforcement gritted his teeth. I knew it. How could Xianjiu be Suyu? It was all that Huangjiu who deliberately misled them. Damn it! Bastard! It caused him to be reprimanded and scolded by Invincible. This time, because he probed Suyu's identity, he suffered heavy losses and almost caused Invincible to fall. With such a huge responsibility, Invincible did not personally kill him. That was giving him face. Bastard! Huangjiu, you're a bastard. No one thought of Suyu. It was this bastard who deliberately misled them. Huangjiu, this bastard, deserved to die. Moreover, an elder had died this time. It was too miserable and sullen. The others did not dare to say anything and quickly contacted Suyu. A moment later, there was a reply. In the Heart Cultivation Pavilion. Suyu was doing his best to reverse the aura of death. The aura of death was still very strong, especially in the human realm, so the pressure he had to bear was even greater. But it was still all right. Suyu reversed the situation for a while and passed through the difficult period. At this moment, the mask vibrated slightly, and someone sent a voice transmission. Suyu picked it up to check. It seemed that the stone sculpture had done something. Did the Heaven Hunting Pavilion confirm that there was no problem with his identity? He took a look. The news was transmitted through the public channel. Xianjiu, are you there? I'm not dead. I'm waiting for you guys to verify my identity. Huangjiu, just wait, you traitor. Suyu naturally knew that something must have happened. Of course, with my identity as Xianjiu, I definitely wouldn't know what happened. In fact, Suyu really didn't know what had happened. Heaven Hunting Pavilion Branch. Bai Yi quickly said, Elder, Xianjiu is here. The law-enforcing elder was stupefied. He also felt relieved. It was probably a mistake. Sigh, it was all that Huangjiu's fault. Tell Xianjiu that there's no problem with his identity. Don't worry too much. This time, he has rendered meritorious service and made our Heaven Hunting Pavilion famous. He should be rewarded for avenging the two law enforcers. He is the sun and moon. Reward him with 10 drops of the sun and moon mystic yellow liquid. In addition, the power of the Great Xia Mansion will be reorganized very soon. He is also the overseer of the Great Xia Mansion. The Heaven Hunting Pavilion will not mistreat those who have rendered meritorious service. He had to appease Xianjiu. The law-enforcing elder sighed. This time, he had made a big mistake. It was troublesome. Although Xianjiu had also caused trouble, it was also to stand up for the Heaven Hunting Pavilion. He had caught the traitor and found the spy. The suspicion of him had chilled the hearts of the people, so he had to give some compensation. People like Xianjiu could not be held accountable. The purpose of the Heaven Hunting Pavilion was to cause trouble. If Xianjiu was held accountable, who would dare to cause trouble? Wouldn't the Heaven Hunting Pavilion become a joke? Such troublemakers deserved a reward. Even if the other party caused some trouble, the Great Xia Manor. We could still afford to provoke them. As for Suyu, forget it. Just stay away from ancient city of Hongqing in the future. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2044. 2044 Chapter 451, The Little Tricks of the Stone Statue Boss 5. Helpless. The Heaven Hunting Pavilion wasn't afraid of ordinary invincible forces. Even powerful invincible forces weren't that afraid. At most, they wouldn't interact with them. However, Suyu's stone statue was able to locate the headquarters of the Heaven Hunting Pavilion. The pavilion masters and ministers were already trying to figure out what went wrong. It was likely that it originated from the ancient Heaven Hunting list. With this ruckus, perhaps the invincible pavilion heads would move the Heaven Hunting list out of the headquarters and relocate it somewhere else. They had no choice but to move it. Otherwise, it would be too dangerous to be targeted every day. Even the invincible pavilion heads would be afraid of being hacked down by a knife at any time. Elder of Law Enforcement sighed. I believed in Huang Jio's evil. Sooner or later, I would kill this Huang Jio and his superior. There might be some problems with Huang Jia as well. This time, I was tricked too miserably. If nothing unexpected happened, Kai Yi and the others went on a mission and were betrayed by this Huang Jio. No wonder he survived. Sigh, why didn't he think of controlling this Huang Jio before? At this moment, Huang Jio, who was hiding somewhere, shivered. He felt that he was in big trouble. Perhaps, he was testing Su Yu and something went wrong. Let's wait for the news. Hopefully, it wasn't too bad news. The heavens were discussing Su Yu and the heaven hunting pavilion. And at this moment, in the Great Xia Manor. City Lord Manor. Lord Xia looked at Xia Huyo, and Xia Huyo looked at him. After a while, Lord Xia asked, Did you see Su Yu with your own eyes? No. You only contacted him via voice transmission. Yes. Are you sure that he is Su Yu? I'm sure. Xia Huyo's face was blank. I don't know, I'm very confused now. Because he had also received the news. The great Xia Emperor had personally sent a message to the Sky Hunting Pavilion and then relayed the message back to them, asking them to investigate in detail. Xianjiu might not be Su Yu. It might be that Xianjiu had assumed Su Yu's identity. Su Yu was currently living a comfortable life in the heavenly battlefield. Just now, he had brought 36 stone sculptures and nearly destroyed the headquarters of the Heaven Hunting Pavilion. Now, the heavens were shaken. Su Yu had officially become the overlord of a region. In the Sea of Stars, the difficulty level of the ancient city of Xinghong was not lower than that of the Dragon Clan. Are you really sure that Xianjiu is Su Yu? At this moment, Lord Xia and Xia Huyo looked at each other. Both of them were dumbfounded. Did we make a mistake? If we made a mistake, it would be too scary. After all, they had told many secrets to Xianjiu, mainly Xia Huyo. He had chatted with Xianjiu several times and revealed a lot of information. Holy shit! If this was fake, it was unimaginable. Xia Huyo swallowed his saliva and said, he even sent me a message earlier, asking me to help him think of a way. The Heaven Hunting Pavilion wants to test his identity. Second Grandpa, do you think this is the way he came up with? Lord Xia Ho looked at him for a long time. He said, go and look for him. You must see his appearance personally. No, even if you see him, you might not be able to identify him. You have to ask for more details. Also, you had better go and look for one Tiansheng. Could it be that the 10,000 heavenly saints had also been deceived? Lord Xia Ho shuddered. It can't be. To be honest, at this point, the Xia family was no longer confident. Could it be that we had been deceived? Impossible, it must be impossible. It was too terrifying. The father and son looked at each other. After a long while, Xia Hu said with a sad face, I'll go and try again. If this is a fake Su Yu, we're too miserable. No, uncle is too miserable. He was beaten up for nothing. It wasn't for nothing, but if the plan was leaked, it would be an unbearable loss for the Xia family. Xia Huyo didn't hesitate anymore, he quickly stood up and said, I'll go to the academy and find Principal Hong and teacher by first. Then, I'll go and confirm Su Yu's identity. Second Grandpa, if this is a fake, we can either start the plan immediately or change the plan. Lord Xia Ho nodded his head numbly. This time, it seemed like he was going to be pecked blind. He hoped that everything would be fine. He hoped that Xianjiu was Su Yu. The Heaven Hunting Pavilion was trying to confirm whether Su Yu was Xianjiu. They had to confirm whether Xianjiu was Su Yu or not. After this incident, both sides felt that they had made a mistake. These two were not the same person. Su Yu would never have thought that being a spy had reached the point where no one believed that he was a spy. This was probably the most successful spy in history. A few hours later, he met Xia Huyo as by Junsheng. Xia Huyo was very far away from him. He was eyeing him like a tiger eyeing its prey. Hong Tan was beside him, and Bai Feng was also beside him. They all looked at Su Yu strangely. Bai Feng only said after a long while, "Are you the real Su Yu?" Su Yu was stunned. F***ck. Don't you know if I'm the real Su Yu? Hong Tan said faintly, "Then who's that person from the Myriad Heavens battlefield?" "The backup plan that I arranged." The few of them looked at him at the same time, disbelief written all over their faces. "Are you really Su Yu?" Fortunately, Bai Feng was still a little convinced. He said, "I think it's true. Teacher, if it's fake, how can there be so many good things for us? There are hundreds of drops of the sun-moon mystic yellow liquid." Once these words were said, Hong Tan came to a realization. That's right. It should be true. When Xia Huyo heard this, he felt a little relieved. Since he was so rich and willing, it was probably not fake, right? How terrifying. And Su Yu soon learned all of this from his mouth. When he found out what happened in the Battle of the Heavens, he was also dumbfounded. "I asked boss to do a small thing for you. Did you really have to do that? You even used 36 stone sculptures to go hunting at the Heavenly Pavilion. Damn it. You're not boss, you're dad." You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2045. 2045 Chapter 452, Myriad Races Gathering Human Realm 1. Su Yu had heard about the great feat of the boss of the stone sculptures. He could only say that he had done it beautifully. He had too much face. 36 stone sculptures had destroyed the heaven hunting pavilion with a single punch. It was too good. It was a pity that he had not seen it. It was too much of a pity. If he could observe it on the spot, it would probably be even better. It was a pity that he would have the chance to watch it again next time. After Su Yu knew about this, he also understood why these people would doubt his identity. He laughed and said, "I told you, I have a good relationship with the boss of the stone statue. If there's anything, he can help me solve it. It's just a small matter." The stone statue said it was a small matter. The three of them ate lemons. Xia Huyo felt sour and satisfied. He grumbled, "Why don't you call your bosses and come to the human realm to have some fun? I'll entertain them." "Heh. I don't know what you're thinking. Su Yu despised you. Of course, I wouldn't say that the stone sculptures couldn't reach the human realm." He quickly said, "Don't think about it. The boss of the stone sculptures only has a good relationship with me. You guys were killed with one punch." Xia Huyo despised him and didn't say much. He quickly said, "Since you're fine, I won't stay any longer. Your identity as Xianjiu isn't a problem now. Be careful. I still have to seal the city to find the murderer." Bai Feng and Hong Tan also looked down on him. "You two are the murderers, acting as if nothing happened." Xia Huyu didn't stay any longer and left quickly. He still had a lot of things to do. Hong Tan and Bai Feng had made up their minds this time. No one would come out of seclusion. No breakthrough, no exit. He was brought out again. It was fine if he was brought out, but he ate a lemon again. Su Yu, this kid, had met a group of invincible people outside. They didn't have to worry about Su Yu at all. They should worry about themselves instead. Both of them went into seclusion. Su Yu was the only one left in the research institute. He sighed for a while. Su Yu was also very happy. Comfortable. Recently, he had been very comfortable. He could do whatever he wanted. If something happened, someone would take the blame. This feeling was comfortable. Of course, everything did not happen out of thin air. Including the stone sculptures, Su Yu had to pay a price to bear the explosion of the aura of death. Su Yu could clearly feel this. Now, after the stone sculptures left the city, Su Yu had to bear a strong backlash of the aura of death. An ordinary person would have died long ago. Origin aperture reversal. Su Yu muttered in his heart. He could easily deal with the aura of death. This cultivation technique was very important. This cultivation technique came from the Dead Souls clan. Su Yu was thinking about a problem. If he could do it, then the Dead Souls clan could too. If he could turn the aura of death into life, then could the Dead Souls clan do it? If they could, then wouldn't they be able to do it as well? Why hadn't he heard of undead becoming alive? Su Yu fell into deep thought. Or could it be that after death, all of them would turn into the aura of death and there would be no turning back? Perhaps that was the case. In that case, he couldn't die. If he died, even if he really became an undead, the probability of him being resurrected was too low. There were so many dead spirits and the undead sovereign, but he had never heard of anyone being resurrected. The demons were doing it, but after so many years, the undead sovereign had not been brought back. The difficulty was probably beyond imagination. Now, the identity crisis has been temporarily resolved. Su Yu thought in his heart. Since that was the case, then it was time to get down to business. Stir up trouble. The Great Xia mansion had lost some of its popularity. Of course, this popularity was also snatched away by Su Yu himself. It didn't matter, Su Yu would continue to keep a low profile, Xianjiu would continue to keep a high profile, and the Great Xia mansion's popularity would continue. As for Su Yu, he was thinking even more at this moment. He already knew many things, including Xiao Long's martial Dao attainment, and Wan Tianqing's preparations to kill the invincible traitor. He actually didn't want anything to happen to these people. If that was the case, he would need to make more preparations and put in some effort. Relying on his current strength, including his faction, he wouldn't be able to participate in the invincible battle. Just because the stone statue protected him, it didn't mean that it would protect others. Heaven Hunting Pavilion. Su Yu thought that this faction had quite a few invincible people. Perhaps it was also a good platform. I still need to put in more effort on the Heaven Hunting Pavilion side. Just as Su Yu was thinking about this. Heaven Hunting Pavilion's branch. Elder of Law Enforcement kept sending messages to Huangjiu, but they were all lost. Soon, by Yi's side, Elder Huangjiu might have sensed something. It looks like he ran away. What about Huangjia? The direct elders could locate the other party. Even if Huangjiu ran away and Huangjia was there, there was still hope to find him. Unless Huangjiu broke the mask. Elder Huangjia. At this point, Bai Yi hesitated and said, he also ran away. Huh? Elder of Law Enforcement was shocked. He ran away. Yes. Bai Yi nodded, he said helplessly, there's a high probability that he ran away. Without any information, there's no way to communicate with him. Now, we can only ask the head of Department Huang to locate Elder Huangjia. However, the head of Department Huang is in the heavenly battlefield. It's probably difficult for him to locate his subordinates in the human realm. Unless the head of department personally comes to the human realm and brings the heaven hunting list with him, it's impossible to locate the other party by relying on the heaven hunting list, therefore, they have nothing to fear now. If they run away, we won't be able to find them. We don't even need to break the mask. Damn it! Elder of Law Enforcement cursed under his breath. Soon, he bellowed furiously, damn it. That's right, the overall ranking was not in the human realm. It was extremely difficult to determine the position of the other party across the heavens. The higher the level of the mask, the more difficult it was to determine the position of the other party. The position of the faceless elder was already very high. To determine the position of the other party, the difficulty was frighteningly high. Of course, if it was in the heavenly battlefield, it could be done. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2046. 2046 Chapter 452, Human Gathering Realm of 10,000 Races 2. I'll ask the department head for his opinion. Also, it's best if you know Huang Jia's identity. The law enforcement elder said coldly, as expected, I was betrayed by Huang Jia this time. At this moment, there was no need to investigate further. These two had escaped. It would be strange if it wasn't them. It was good that Huang Jia, this traitor, had lured out Huang Jia and caught a bunch of them. As for the department head Huang, he didn't know what was going on. The law enforcement elder thought that perhaps he should send a message to the first elder. There were 9 elders in the law enforcement department, and he was the 8th elder. The first elder was the strongest, and he might be invincible. Of course, he might be quasi-invincible, but that was hard to say. However, the first elder of the law enforcement department had a very high position and was very strong. That was true. There might be a problem with the Huang department. The law enforcement elder said coldly, no wonder Huang Jia insisted on Limitless Mystic 9. It seems that he doesn't want the elites of the Heaven Hunting Pavilion to rise up and issue a wanted notice. Huang Jia and Huang Jia betrayed him. In addition, all the members of the Huang department who are directly under Huang Jia will gather in the branches and check their identities. There was something wrong with this lineage. Bai Yi nodded and sighed, I didn't expect. Sigh. One of the 12 elders entered the border and died. Now that Huang Jia has betrayed him, there are only 10 elders left. 19 out of the 100 white-masked elders have died. Sigh. The losses were huge. Now, there were only 10 elders and 80 white-masked elders left. Huang Jia had also betrayed them. Of course, these were the members of the 4 divisions. Elder of law enforcement and the others did not count. Moreover, an elder had also died in the heavenly battlefield. 3 late-stage Sun-Moon Realm cultivators and several middle-stage Sun-Moon Realm cultivators had been lost consecutively. The Heaven Hunting Pavilion had suffered heavy losses during this trip to the human realm. Elder of law enforcement was silent for a long time, he said, Xianjiu cannot die. If he dies, the losses this time will be too great. Ask Xianjiu if he is safe now. If there is really trouble, we can go and rescue him. Yes. Bai Yi quickly went to do his work while Elder of Law Enforcement had a headache. Trouble. The trip to the human realm had caused the loss of several elders and many white-masked experts. Even though the Heaven Hunting Pavilion had a large business, the losses this time were extremely heavy. Although the other manors had also started their businesses, strictly speaking. It was all thanks to Xianjiu that the human realm knew the name of the Heaven Hunting Pavilion. Otherwise, who knew how long it would take to start a business? Even so, many experts had gathered in the Great Xia Mansion. There wasn't much meaning in starting a business in the other small manors. A few large manors hadn't even started a business yet. Not to mention the Great Qin Mansion, even the Great Ming Mansion, didn't dare to go. On one hand, there was almost no news of those who had gone. Also, it was unknown whether the Great Ming King had left or not. Who dared to rashly go? Sigh. With a sigh, it was too difficult without the help of the invincible human realm. Who knew when the invincible human realm would be able to sneak in? If they had the invincible human realm, it would not be so difficult. At the same time, in a wilderness outside the Great Xia Manor, a faceless elder and a white-masked man looked at each other, feeling an indescribable loneliness. Huang Jiu said aggrievedly, "Elder, I really didn't betray them. I'm so King aggrieved. My state of mind has collapsed. Just now, the Heaven Hunting Pavilion had put out an arrest warrant for them. He was unlucky, and so was Huang Jiao. This Xianjiu. Bastard." Huang Jiu cursed, and then he said, "There might not be a traitor. The Great Xia Mansion might have noticed it long ago. There's something wrong with Xianjiu's head, and he insisted on thinking that there's a traitor." At this moment, he did not suspect that Xianjiu was a traitor. A traitor was not that crazy. As for saying that Xianjiu was Suyu, to be honest, it was just a casual remark and he did not take it seriously. Who knew that the Heaven Hunting Pavilion had really gone to test him? Who knew that Suyu was so hot-tempered that he had killed them all in one go? This was great. He had angered the higher-ups and they insisted that he go to the branch. What nonsense. If he went, they would definitely investigate him thoroughly this time. To be honest, there were many people with problems in the Heaven Hunting Pavilion. If they really wanted to investigate, who wouldn't have problems? Would he dare to go? If he went, he would be finished. Now that the Heaven Hunting Pavilion had suffered heavy losses, they couldn't find someone to take the blame. He, Huang Jiu, was a white-faced man. Naturally, he was the most suitable person to take the blame. He complained. Elder Huang Jia sighed, "So be it. It's nothing much. It's a little obvious. Only you and Xianjiu are alive. There's no other way." The meaning behind his words was that it was just the two of them. Stop pretending. Huang Jiu wanted to vomit blood. *CK, even the elders don't believe in me. Even I don't believe in myself. Did I really betray them? No. Could it be that I accidentally leaked the news? It's illogical. Helpless, Huang Jiu didn't say anything. There was no point in explaining. The more he explained, the darker it became. "Elder, what should we do now? We can't go to the celestial battlefield." Huang Jia said in a lonely voice, "If we go now, unless we break the mask and hide our identity, the head of Department Huang knows about my situation. Let's just stay in the human realm. I'm also at the 8th level of the Sun-Moon realm. There are relics in the Southern Yuan realm. Maybe I'm very powerful. Maybe, it's not impossible. Once I can step into the 9th level, I can open the river of time and capture the past and future. Then, I can become invincible in the Tao. It's not impossible." Huang Jiu nodded. "Then we won't leave?" "No." Huang Jia said, "It's a rare opportunity. Now that the Great Xia Mansion is in chaos, it's our chance to fish in troubled waters. Moreover, with the Heaven Hunting Mask, ordinary people can't tell who we are. Plus, Xianjiu is also here. I think he will cause trouble sooner or later, so we'll stay in the Great Xia Mansion." You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2047. 2047 Chapter 452, Myriad Races, Human Gathering Territory 3. Huang Jiu nodded, still aggrieved. "I'm so aggrieved. I really didn't betray you. Also, the ones who betrayed you might be D18 and the others. It's just that it's hard to say if they were killed by someone in passing. Why must there be a traitor?" He was very tired. Just because the mission failed, doesn't mean there must be a traitor. Moreover, even if there was a traitor, it might be a law enforcer. Xianjiu, this idiot, insisted that it was him or him. If he was not, then naturally, he was. There was no way to say it even if it was reasonable. At this moment, Huang Jiu understood what it meant to play the lute to a cow. A one-track-minded idiot like Xianjiu was too difficult to deal with. He also sighed and left with Huang Jia in loneliness. Great Xia residence, I haven't completed any mission yet. Now it's fine, there's no need for me to complete it. Huang Jiu and Huang Jia were wanted, and Su Yu was also surprised. Very quickly, he didn't take it seriously. Great, these two escaped, and it confirmed that they were traitors. Even Su Yu was surprised, so why did they run away? I was the one who sold the information, aren't these two innocent? Su Yu had already thought it through. If these two really went to the branch to report, and prove that they weren't traitors, it was actually nothing. At most, he could say that Great Xia Manor had sensed the crisis ahead of time, and it wasn't a big deal. Why did these two run away with a guilty conscience? It was pretty good. They had taken the blame for themselves. Since they were bad people, Su Yu was naturally a good person. When Bai Yi asked if he needed help, Su Yu did not stand on ceremony, he quickly said, "No need, but I need manpower." The Great Xia Manor was now a treasure land. Countless experts were gathered here. The Southern Essence historical remains might be about to open. I have top-secret information. There might be some Heaven Essence energy seeping out from there. I need experts to help me. Bai Yi was shocked when he heard this. Is that true? Where did the information come from? It's true. Don't ask me where it came from. I naturally have my own ways. Including the assassination of Xia Sini, they were all provided to me by the same person. Some people are eager for the Xia family to die. The law enforcers won't think that the Xia family doesn't have any enemies, right? I see. It was too normal for the Xia family to have enemies. Bai Yi did not think too much. Everyone had their own channels. This was normal. The Xia family had many enemies. It was not that they did not have any. Someone had sold the Xia family's information to Xianjiu. This was not a problem at all. Xianjiu, are you sure that the heavenly Yuan Qi has seeped into the southern Yuan? Su Yu said with certainty, absolutely. Of course, it was still very weak. For the time being, it could not be confirmed whether it was the heavenly Yuan Qi in the ruins. I need to conduct a field investigation before I can give an accurate answer. I'm an ancient city resident, so I'm very sensitive to Heaven Yuan Qi. I'll naturally be able to detect whether it's Heaven Yuan Qi or not. That's true. This time, Bai Yi also thought of this point. This was also Xianjiu's natural advantage. Ancient city resident. This time, Su Yu was the only ancient city resident among the white faces. Previously, there were ancient city residents who wanted to come, but the consumption was too great. As for Su Yu, he did not hold back this time. Very quickly, he said, in addition, I have made many moves. The Heaven Yuan Qi consumption is too great. Previously, the headquarters said that they would subsidize 70% of my Heaven Yuan Qi. In addition to this time, you said that you would reward me with 10 drops of the Sun Moon Profound Yellow Liquid. It is time to send them to me. If I don't send them, I will die from the backlash of the Death Qi. Then, I will suffer a great loss. Don't worry. Someone will send them to you very soon. When the time comes, I will go personally. Bai Yi quickly said, do you have any other requests? At least 10 white-masked warriors. It would be best if some Sun Moon Realm white-masked warriors come. There are too many experts in the Xia family. I want to disrupt the Xia family's arrangements and disrupt their deployment so that they don't have time to target us. It would be best if we can drag the other forces down with us, including the contact with the Myriad Clan cult. I need some information on the experts of the Myriad Clan cult. Only by combining the strong and the strong can we plunge the Great Xia Mansion into chaos. This. I can do it. We do have some information on the experts of the Myriad Clan sect, and we can provide it to you. Su Yu was overjoyed. Let's see, I might be able to infiltrate the Myriad Clan sect soon. Sigh. I'll infiltrate the Myriad Clan sect as a high-ranking member of the Heaven Hunting Pavilion and become their partner. TSK, isn't that awesome? I don't need to hide in the Myriad Clan sect at all. I'll start from the bottom. I want to do it. The moment I arrive, I'll be a high-ranking member, and I'll have a direct conversation with the top experts of the Myriad Clan sect. Bai Yi quickly added, we'll contact the Myriad Clan sect as soon as possible. Xianjiu, are you sure you can safely escape from the Great Xia mansion? Of course. But it's best to put some pressure on them. I'm worried that if the city is sealed for too long, I'll be exposed. My identity is currently concealed, but the secret technique I'm using won't be able to last for too long. Once my true identity is exposed, I'll be finished. Alright, we'll put pressure on the Great Xia Manor as soon as possible. The two chatted for a while before Su Yu turned off his comms. In his heart, he was thinking whether or not he should kill Bai Yi and Hui Yi as well. Out of the 4 law enforcers, 2 have died. The 2 of you are still left. You're too lonely. Forget it, we'll talk about it later. There was one more thing. Su Yu had forgotten to ask the 10,000 heavenly saints about Ji Hong's matter. Had he really found that invincible clue? Also, Su Yu himself had some information. Back then, when he had extracted Sect Master Tiany's blood essence, he had found some things. Including in Sect Master Tiany's memories, he had seen a human expert who seemed to be at the invincible realm. He had talked to Sect Master Tiany about something, and there was a pattern on his left arm. He didn't know if it had anything to do with that traitor invincible Sect Master. Thinking of this, Su Yu remembered something else. A box suddenly appeared in his hand, the dragon horn box.